Well, we've
The
got that
Void's
Nyx
not banned.
assassin.
Sounds good.
Void is not banned. They're going
But
to
they
pick
didn't
it.
pick it. Took Nyx. It's quite
They've got
interesting.
time. Liquid aren't going to pick it. Tiny, that's
Yeah.
an interesting pick.
Yeah, the main thing here is Chicken Fighters was always second pick when they did this Void flex. So potentially that might be the reason, because they don't get the final pick in the entire draft, so they can't like surprise Liquid to the very end, and that's why they go for a more standard like Nyx TA style of opening.
Yeah, I do like the bans from Liquid, the Viper, Phoenix. We talked about how they've been prioritizing them in the draft after that strat, so good to take it out, force them on something new. Chicken Fighters going to make sure they don't get brooded too.
Chicken Fighters will almost always pick Phoenix if they can. I mean, it's not this qualifier they've won all their games, so having a 100% win rate on Phoenix is kind of by the by, but they do have a 100% win rate on Phoenix.
Stats don't lie, Dan. Stats don't lie.
They don't lie.
True.
Ooh. AA Tiny though, very very nice second pick opening, because if your team is confident running a untraditional Tiny 4, it still can work pretty well. But we also saw yesterday with Nigma and Miracle, when he played that Tiny, you know, he was running down Sumo on the CK from the tier 1 down to the tier 3, like up in the face. It really does create a lot of space to open up these kind of bigger farmers, and it kind of lost popularity during the major, but it was very prominent during DPC. Just the idea of a in-your-face mid-Tiny, and of course the pairing with AA, Vortex, more damage, Avalanche Toss, 400 to 0 certain heroes.
Is
You
it
know who
always
I
going to be a
miss?
mid hero? Sorry.
Oh, sorry, Dan. I was going to say, so you know who I miss? I miss Tiger's Earth Spirit. He's played it like once at the Anti-Major, I think, and he just hasn't played it at all in these qualifiers. He didn't play it at all otherwise in the tournament. I miss it. That was like his signature hero. He owns on this hero. He's absolute beast. It just seems like it's completely fallen out of what they want to do in these games. And I'm not entirely sure why.
Well, it's like the idea that in offlane you wanna bully the carry, right? And Earth Spirit's a very kind of stale hero for laning phase, where you kind of sit in the trees, you wait for the roll. If you don't hit the roll, you're just kind of sitting there, right? You're just existing. And like, I think most teams just want to have offlane plus annoying, idiot, infuriating four that clicks you and blocks your camps and does everything. Like Earth Spirit can't invoke that, you know, negative emotion in the safe lane.
But I feel like you could pair it with something like a Viper, although I guess it's not really a boxy hero. But if you took this like Viper hero, like Viper and Earth Spirit together seem like quite a horrible offlane to play against. So I feel sad that they're not trying to make Tiger's Earth Spirit work in these games anymore. But he's so good at roaming. So if he does get put on this Tiny and it's not mid, like I'm looking forward to it still.
What has Tiger been playing? He's been playing a lot of Snapfire and a lot of Enchantress, and not, if we're honest, much else. Yeah. What sort of stuff, if not the Earth Spirit, would you like to see him on Sheep?
And those heroes you said, I really love Snapfire as a hero. She's definitely one of my favorites. She's got a special place in my heart. I don't think they'll be playing it this game because there's a Nyx on the enemy team. That hero is super disruptive to Snapfire's gameplay because of the Carapace on basically all of her spells. So is this a Lina for Tiger? Or, I mean, this kind of says that the Lina or the Tiny are going mid.
It's just kind of keeping it open, right? Like Lina and Tiny can both be 4 mid, so maybe they're going to be like, ooh, surprise! They pick up their carry on the 4th slot, so then they get to unravel their draft in the final phase.
I mean, Lina's pretty decent against TA, right? So
yeah,
it's most likely mid Lina.
Yeah.
It could be a double surprise of a mid AA. Yeah. You never know.
I think go for the start. All right.
Boxy Slardar. That is my favorite boxy hero. He's so fun on this ladder.
Yeah, like Liquid, all of their heroes right now are just like no cooldown, run at you style heroes. They can play really strong laning phase as well. So this is going to be emulating kind of what happened in game 2 for Liquid against Tundra yesterday. Like they did crush their lanes, they did run over their opponent, they just kind of outplayed themselves a little bit. So yeah, I'm excited to see that Liquid have leaned more into what worked well yesterday.
Yeah, they paired the Slardar with Snapfire before though, right? And they don't have that this time.
They got Medusa. Okay. How do you feel about that, Sheep?
I do like it a lot. I think she's just this hero that you want to not be able to get bursted. I don't know how likely that is into an AA Lina and a Tiny who are very good at comboing and bursting, but I feel like she's someone that could live through this Tiny combo easily, so that's going to pose a problem for Liquid with how they want to start fights. If she lives through that burst, which is most likely it's a Medusa, then these TAs and Snapfire ults are all going to come out and they're going to super be able to just counter initiate, especially with hopefully a nice last pick offlane on Chicken Fighters that can help start these fights. They're kind of missing some good initiation right now, or hard initiation.
Do they need initiation, or can they let Team Liquid kind of come at them?
Yeah, the thing with Liquid is they have a lot of like great ways to kill a hero, but it's for one hero only. They're not going to be able to combo multiple heroes down. It's not like they have big team fight, right? So this is why Chicken Fighters picked this Medusa with confidence. As like TA can just go in first. Doesn't matter if she dies to the Slardar plus Tiny at like AA combo, because then it means they don't have the resources to kill the Medusa. So Liquid needs to break down the map quick enough so that Chicken Fighters can't like offer up one piece of their their board to then use another. So I think I like how Chicken Fighters can play into this game, but they still don't really have the answers of like how do they actually kill a hero on Chicken Fighters in like the first 20 minutes of this game before TA or Medusa has farm. Like Nick Snapfire, just two alone, they're not going to be able to do the damage. Whilst Liquid, all their heroes are going to bring something to the game, like from minute 0 all the way through until like the mid game, until Medusa TA really kind of shine.
Pick up of that PL ban as well as a Dragon Knight on Team Liquid. What are these last bans we're looking for here, Sheep? What would you like Liquid to not be able to pick?
Liquid need a carry that helps with the tempo of their game, because they're going quite fast so far, and I don't think there's a carry that Liquid can pick here that is going to be able to carry them late game against this Medusa TA. I feel like it just looks stronger right now against the rest of Liquid's lineup. So maybe they'll just try and go even faster, potentially. Maybe they'll just pick some bristleback carry, just start running down these lanes. I'm not sure. I'm not sure what else they can do. They have TB banned, PL's been banned. Arc,
So
interesting.
they're not going late, yeah.
Yeah, it seems like a lot of these late game carries are just out of the pool right now. Spectre, Luna gone. So I'm wondering if they're just going to double down, or if they just have something in their pocket that I can't even fathom right now that they're just gonna wipe us away with.
I think
They could pick a Void, couldn't they?
for Liquid.
Yeah.
Yeah, you don't like that? Like Void or Anti-Mage, like the maybe okay. I think I kind of lean towards Anti-Mage if Chicken Fighters pick a off lane that doesn't really apply too much pressure in lane and was more of kind of like a farmer. That could just give Liquid like the haha got you, specifically because of the lack of damage that I previously mentioned. Like TA is very good against that hero, but Chicken Fighters right now for Zibe, they need that that off lane presence. Maybe even just like a casual Doom in the off lane. You get a BKB. You don't go for damage from your off lane, but you just go for tanking through the spells, like I already mentioned from Liquid. And now suddenly it props up the Medusa to TA to actually play their game.
What's Shibe like as an offlaner? Because we've not previously seen him play that role. He usually plays 4. He played offlane, I think, briefly on a Alliance or something, didn't he?
He played for OG Seed.
Yeah,
OG Seed offlane.
No, so yeah. He was very versatile. So far in the tournament, he's played 6 different heroes in the 6 games that he's played. And like it is the role that he played before he transitioned to support for like for 5 men and for all the teams since the OGC days.
There's 4 on OG Seed. What?
I think he needs to play something active though.
Yeah. I think
because Doom is nice and he has been playing Doom, so they could pick it, but it's very greedy with Medusa and TA in my opinion. If they think they can get away with that, fine, but it seems hard into Liquid's lineup.
They're almost out of time.
It's fine.
Quickly say a hero and see if you can call it.
Dumorax. Oh, Pango.
Pango,
that rhymes with Dumorax. It's good. We're fine.
We haven't gotten
it's off the same genre.
Yeah, exactly. Of Dota heroes.
Yeah, it is a Dota hero, and that is my level of analysis.
But no, this is nice. Like, it allows them to cut through into the backlines, and like, if you ever jump on any of Liquid's heroes, they are going to die. And they just go for a drow. Okay.
How do you feel about this drow sheep?
It's a hero.
It is also a Dota hero, yeah.
I quite like it. They don't have. I mean, TA is gonna get this blink, and she's gonna be hopefully very aggressive on Chicken Fighter's side to try and shut down Drow. I'm kind of scared for her. I think if they're setting up with the Pango role and Snapfire role, it seems hard for Drow to survive these early skirmishes, so she's probably gonna have to play like quite tucked away in the jungle ancient area, while the rest of his team move on the map, take fights. I think Lina Tiny with early blink and oh no, it's not gonna be early blink. It's a 4 Tiny. It seems difficult for Liquid to take fights in my opinion, and easier for Chicken Fighters to execute. This Medusa I think is a lot easier to play than a Drow, but I think Liquid are also a really experienced team and they can totally pull this off.
How about you, T?
I think that the Drow pick is to win the lane against this Pangolier, and then it allows them to get that first Aegis from the Slaughter, and it kind of that will answer kind of Sheep's concerns about like the survivability of the Drow, and it does give them a nice timing to beat heroes like TA, like Medusa, because you just kind of run through them. Like Chicken Fighters, if they miss the Rolling Thunder or they don't get that clean stun, like they don't have stuns. So Liquid's all about kiting. So I like the fact that Liquid oversubscribed to what they did yesterday against Tundra. Like they want to play quick, they pick these heroes, it's amazing. Just if they fall short, they will just lose the scaling point of this game. But yeah, I like how they built themselves a nice lineup to play into first for Aegis and into the face of Chicken Fighters.
Okay. Well, can Chicken Fighters and Jibei's Pangolier roll on through to a Game 1 victory, or will Boxy Slardar crush their hopes? We're going to hand over to our casters for this game, Evo Plus and Seek and Strike.
Thank you, Dan. It is a very exciting matchup indeed. I am quite sad that we have to see one of these teams leave. We have the revitalized Chicken Fighters versus a Liquid that's really hoping to demonstrate people why they're one of the favorites. Who's going to take it? Honestly, I don't know, but I'm happy that at least we're getting a Liquid draft. Always excited to see Boxy Slardar, and we'll see how this game ends up. How are you, Richie, today?
I'm doing well. You know, we said goodbye a little bit past midnight yesterday after the Spider Pigs ITB game. Spider Pigs playing in our next series. Hold that thought, because Taiga is going to go rush B strategy. It's not going to work out for him. However, he does get a toss back, though, before he goes, and that should allow at least for a trade. But Pexu is going to surprise them there with the Fairy Fire. And Liquid, they're not going to be able to stand their ground here, so they're just going to have to lose the Tiny to start off the game. Not exactly how they were looking to kick their day off, I'm sure, but still plenty of time to recover, just a little bit of a first blood, and the bonus going over to Supreme is going to help out this mid lane a little bit.
Yep. Yeah, it's a tough way to start. I mean, they were already talking about how Liquid is looking for this explosive start, snowballing off the lanes, and then you lose first blood in the suicidal attempt. Not ideal for you. The 4 Tiny is also a hero that's very much a sink or swim hero, very much why I think he's not played as much. Well, I think with the AA, you have a lot more potential, especially in the mid game, to get pickoffs, but if your laning stage is just not that good. If Starter struggles in this laning stage, it's even worse for you. You need to find ganks somewhere. Liquid is very much going back to their bread and butter, I'd say, with this strat, where they're going to trust their incredible laning stage to be able to carry them.
Yeah, I think they might be able to get that done. I'm a little bit dubious of a position 5 Nyx Assassin, if I'm being honest with you, especially in a lane versus a Slardar and a Tiny. I think he's going to struggle a little bit here. So I think that's going to slow down this Deuce's farm a little bit and help out the rest of Liquid in terms of being able to cut through this Deuce, I think, as T-Gov kind of said, because it kind of seems like that's what they're going to be going to do here, at least of all, with marksmanship at least. That's the goal, right, is to just get this Drow Ranger in a place where she's protected enough to just be able to stand her ground in these fights and just lay down so much damage is, I think, going to be a good way to play this game. So I wonder then how Koikva is going to build on the mid lane Lina. Probably BOT's first item into the Yule Scepter perhaps, right, to just be able to get some solo kill pick off and really just, you know, look to hand off the damage dealing responsibilities to Mickey. I don't know.
I would agree. I think the BOTs into Yule. Like, you're right. I think Mickey is all the damage you need, so if you get more control on the Lina, might be better. This might be the first time when we see a Lina not completely deviate into the secondary damage dealer. It depends how Liquid sees this game. Well, up top, we are going to see an attempt as Ancient Apparitions life, and they're going to get Insania. So that's a really nice start for
Boxy. He's in trouble. They need a little bit more. We don't have the Impale because it was just used. Boxy, though, without any regen, is going to be... Oh, he's got the Courier on the way. He'll be fine. Two healing cells. He knows this lane is actually a little bit difficult for him, especially because Taiga is looking to get level 2 by skipping the creep wave all the way to the tier 3 tower.
Yep. So as we were saying, the Lina's choice here is honestly two. It's either I'm going to protect my carry by going more of a utility or control Lina, right? I'll just make sure that Mickey has the best game ever. Or alternatively, I'll become a second threat so that Chicken Fighters has to choose between jumping the Drow and jumping myself. I think it works, but it depends on the philosophy of Liquid this game and how confident they are. Because if he goes for the second choice, then Slardar and Tiny have to do so much to be able to protect both their really scary orbital cannons, but also really squishy glass cannons. So we'll see what Liquid decides to go for. And also this depends as well of how good Chicken Fighter's early game goes. If they can stave off this aggression from Slardar Tiny, these heroes can quickly fall off. But Boxy is a good player at recovering. Should be in the top lane, by the way. He's struggling a bit against the Frost Arrows. Not the easiest lane for a Pango, but for now he's doing fine. 10 last, it's not too bad against Drought.
Yep, not bad at all. And most importantly, he's really bringing a lot of pressure to Drow Ranger. It's now twice. I've been kind of just idling top on my camera. I've just seen him really just use Swashbuckle super aggressively here. He seems not to be afraid of the cold feet into, a Frost Arrows, right? This is not your typical AA, kind of combo where you just have a stun into the cold feet. Not very likely here, so yeah, that's why he's being very liberal with the usage here. Onto Era they will go. He has Cookie, though, if he needs it, and he's just going to be able to walk off. Lots of damage already, though. Lots of damage, I will say, in this top lane.
Yeah, I don't think you have too much kill potential on the Drow. I don't think Mickey will ever make the mistake of being out of position, but Insania, the more aggressive he wants to play, the more Chicken Fighter's just looking to punish that. Taiga might want to rotate at some point. In fact, he's going for rotation mid right now, blocking some camps. Shibe, slowed down, but not enough. And yeah, Taiga's going to take advantage of this to actually rotate up to the top lane, but he actually getting seen by a ward. Chicken Fighters are expecting this rotation already, something Taiga does like to do. Rotation we see very often where you block the small camp, you prevent the mid laner from farming. If it's a TA, I mean, obviously you're going to do that, and then you proceed to try to help the top lane, which has kill potential, but not enough alone. There they go. Taiga seeing the opportunity for Supreme, goes for the Avalanche, has the toss, but it's not a toss back. In fact, they're going to try to kill Supreme under the tower, and that's not going to work there. Supreme will survive the onslaught of damage using the refraction.
Yeah, just was getting that back on cooldown. The little bit of space he made, literally just the 3 steps he took, really saving his life. If he just started blasting Danny DeVito style, he would definitely have fallen there because he needed to buy a little bit of time for refraction to come off CD. So I was dubious of the position 5 Nyx because I actually thought that they were going to lane this Tiny a little bit more. Instead, Liquid, they decided to prioritize some more experience. Hold that thought because top lane Era is getting ganked now by Taiga. Toss back into Insania. And this is going to look like a kill then onto Era. Yep, right click, and it's going to go towards Taiga then. Shibe is going to have to hide over in the trees. Shibe, by the way, who went for the Urn early. Great stats, don't get me wrong. This mana regen and the overall stats is what makes it a really nice item. This is the reason why you saw like Falcon Blade a bunch on offlaners occasionally. Urn accomplishes a very similar thing. Bottom.
Charlie in trouble. He actually might die. There's Mesh ready. The Cookie, and they will get a counter kill in exchange, but Charlie's already dead. And the top lane, they're also chasing down Shibe, but he should be able to get out. No Swashbuckle just yet. Shibe playing with the shadows, and Mick is like, where'd you go? I'll kill your courier now. Come out! I killed your pet! But Shibe is not John Wick, so he's going to just leave.
He is going to leave. He's going to actually TP all the way home. He's done well to keep 3 heroes top lane. Unfortunately, for Chicken Fighters, they actually still end up losing the Dusa anyway down bottom in that 1v1 lane. I'm not really sure where Peksu was. I think he was maybe stacking. Yeah, he stacked in the triangle. Looks like he stacked some Ancients in the meantime. But yeah, losing the Dusa there is going to be a bit costly. And Boxy is really forcing the issue, immediately bringing in a Sentry to lane and getting the D ward. So we still need more heroes from Chicken Fighters to secure the early game for Dusa. Because Charlie with that death, it's not the end of the world, but it's maybe a sign of things to come if they don't try and put a stop to Boxy here.
This is why I like the choice from Taiga to rotate. Of course, if your 4 rotates, Peksu can stay in the bottom lane, but then you're going to have an inequality in the rest of the lanes, right? So I don't think protecting that Dusa is that much a priority. I think Chicken Fighters did the right play, but Taiga sets the tempo of the game by doing that. And the Slardar can deal with ranged heroes if you go for a couple more points in sprint, if you play a bit aggressively rather than trying to harass, you're trying to go for kill opportunities instead. The extra experience helps you out a lot in those matchups. So it's not impossible if you're solo. Once there's support, even if the support is like a Winter Wyvern who's not great in lane, it's very difficult for Slardar to close the gap. But if there's no support, there's chances for you to get kills, there's chances for you actually to get farm, and the extra experience also helps you recover in the mid game. Because I've not seen Boxy, he's not the biggest fan of going Midas early on Slardar, like some starters will do. He just recovers magically. I actually don't know. Stinger was telling me about this the other day. He's like, I never see him go Midas. I still think he recovers all the time. This guy is so good on Slardar, and usually I think Slardar is pretty bad. So that's, yeah, Stinger's a big fan of Boxy.
He's had a good start, and I'm a big fan of his start as well. As here goes Liquid now starting to apply some pressure. I was about to say we need to make a move somewhere on Chicken Fighters. They feel very constricted right now. Because they okay, and there's a move, Taiga. He's maybe in a bit of a rough spot. He's got Insania nearby, but Insania's going to have to leave him high and dry here on the high ground. Taiga with some fancy footwork, though. He's going to go ahead and sidestep the Impale, and that might just get him out of dodge. I believe it will. Another trap for the slow. Peksu, distracted by the Courier, is not going to find it either.
My God.
Wow, nice job. And
he pulled out
in
all
the
the stops there.
He really did, and throughout all that, Koikfa just gets the tower. It was untouched before that wave, already to basically half HP, so big wins for Liquid. I was about to say, we need to make a move somewhere for Chicken Fighters, and the fact that they just kind of chase around a Tiny and don't get anything out of it really hurts, because top lane, Shibe, he's kind of just getting experience right now, 26-2. He's really fallen off from being able to harass the Drow, his mid lane. You have a toss. Peksu's going to be able to live through that. So much magic amp, by the way. Even with the 1 point in Ice Vortex, 12%. Yeah, that doesn't sound too crazy, but when you already amp that damage further with the Avatoss, it really starts to add up. So that's why we almost killed the Nyx Assassin, despite really low levels between the two supports. And then bottom, Boxy is just free farming as well here, basically. Like it feels a little bit difficult right now for Chicken Fighters to get anything started around the map.
Yeah, I mean, this is Liquid's oppressive early game. They're doing really well. Taiga particularly just been doing a great job of setting the tempo. I think they just saw him, so Era's going to come and try to punish this. They do get a lucky shot this time. The Avalanche will not stop a rolling Pango. Taiga, oh no, he hit the corner! No, the corner of death! The bane of every Pango's existence, these magical corners that happen in each staircase. And actually going to get a counter kill perhaps on Era. They do have Laguna Blade, but they don't want to use it. Marksmanship proc is going to do the trick, and Era will fall. Mickey, you're not thinking the right way home. In fact, Mickey is in trouble now, and they're trying to harass him and finish him off, but he's actually surprisingly tanky. He's going to live this off, and the rest of Liquid will just retreat. That was pretty good by Liquid, honestly. If it wasn't because the Rolling Thunder messed up, I don't think that would have been as good. But I don't want to blame Schmidt for that, because if you ever play Pango, if you try to go down the stairs, it's the hardest thing in the world. It's like using a bicycle to go down the stairs. It's actually very, very difficult not to bump.
It's a pretty
apt
analogy. I can't say I've ever tried to ride my bike downstairs, but I know the feeling. I think I know the feeling. At the very least, though, even though if they don't get the kill here for Chicken Fighters, they at least defend the stack of Ancients, right? I mean, if you get into some sort of engagement there and you end up losing the TA and Lena's still around with mana, that stack is gone, and then your game is basically ruined here for the Templar Assassin. We've managed to avert that situation. Now the Dragon Lance is about to be delivered for Supreme. I expect him, he's going to go into the Desolator immediately after. DT Rune's going to be picked up. Maybe we can make something out of this here. This Peksu's going to get tossed in place. Actually land a stun onto Koikfa, but the Observer Ward's going to be denied by Taiga after all.
That's all he wanted there. That was a toss to deny the Observer Ward, Taiga. On point. This combo, though, for Liquid, like the support combo particularly, becomes really strong once you hit that level 6 on AA for obvious reasons. But it's actually kind of weak in the early game. I always mention this when it's AA tiny, but toss, the vertical distance cancels Cold Feet, so you actually don't have anything to set up Cold Feet with. Or not cancels, just dispels it, right? Because it's too much distance. And so as a support duo, this is usually a bit weaker. That's why you rather have Tiny mid. But it works out as long as you can huddle down this early game, kind of work it out. And once you get the Ice Blast, Tiny becomes a killing machine, much like a mid Tiny, even without Blink Dagger. Especially because you don't consider the 4 Tiny as being that big of a threat. And the fact that a 4 and a 5 can kill any hero on the map is very scary. Dusa aside, I think Dusa is the only hero that can survive this combo.
Yeah, I think Dusa dies for now, and then I think there's like an ebb and flow to this graph, if you will, some kind of like parabola, if you could imagine, like centered around the mid game.
Not that.
Where in the mid game, I think that they do kill, or they don't really kill Dusa, and then in the ultra late game, I think they can get through her. Normally, I'd say Dusa in the late game is terrifying because you got Satanic, you got all these luxury items you can build into, but you've got a great answer to that in Ice Blast and Drow, right? So it's not going to be too effective here for the Dusa, but. All right, for now, they're just going to propose and accept the Tier 1 tower trade. No one looking to defend too early on. I think it makes sense. Both teams' team fights are a little bit reliant on having that first item for the Pango or even Taiga Blink Dagger, which he's already halfway towards.
Yeah. Like the Drow is just
Blink, sorry, Boxy's coming in with a Blink right now. He's going to look to
really?
possibly push and fight off the
Not bad timing. They go for the Nyx Assassin. Ice Blast actually in the ready as well. Ice Blast is dead, or Nyx Assassin is dead rather. And the Drow's been disarmed. Mick is trying to get away. In fact, sees the opportunity to fight yet. Shibe There's no corners this time, so he actually gets to stop the Slardar, and Boxy will be cooked here. As a little bit of a tribute to our British panel, they gave him some fish and chips. But that's only a single kill on the Slardar. Chicken Fighters does defend the tower, the most important part. Era? No. Liquid really wants something else here. They don't want to lose their offlaner for nothing here. They don't even take the tower, but Supreme has double damage. It's a bit scary. Koikva doesn't get the lucky shot, and he has Boots of Travel, so he knows he can just use his fancy footwork to avoid the damage. During this whole time, though, Charlie has been farming in the triangle safely, so it's actually a pretty decent win for Chicken Fighters.
Yep. Yeah, he shows up there with the Stone Gaze just to make sure that they don't counter-initiate. That's the whole reason Liquid end up on the high ground anyway. But Liquid, they want this tower. They know... yeah, without Kisses, I think Kisses and Rolling Thunder were really crucial in winning that fight, as well as actually Stone Gaze. So now we literally don't have anything to defend the Tier 1 tower. So they're just right back into the mid lane. Boxy's on station again with this Blink Dagger. He'll be looking for another kill. In fact, he's just walking right up to the high ground. Luckily, at least we have Era in position, who's going to sacrifice himself to make sure they get a stun, possibly even a kill onto Boxy, but he's a bit too tanky. Ice Blast now coming for Shibe. It's going to find him. And the Laguna Blade to secure the kill. Taiga as well, closing the door from behind with the Avalanche, ultimately gets the kill. But definitely an overwhelming amount of damage there for the Pangolier. Liquid are playing a really, really nice aggressive style here.
Yep. I mean, this is the style that we know Liquid for. Strong early game, good lanes. And it's not Chicken Fighters looking weaker, it's just the Chicken Fighters just don't have the draft to deal with this, really. You have a Medusa TA, you're going to need a lot of time to farm on the map. But Supreme is getting closer and closer to getting online. Liquid taking advantage of the Slardar to try to take up Roshan. They are dire, though, which, yeah, puts them at a disadvantage. If they were Radiant, this Roshan would be done. Because you can't just hang out in the triangle and save the Roshan. But Chicken Fighters, despite not being as strong right now, they know they can fight this with Mortimer's Kisses usually or already available, Rolling Thunder as well, and them having the advantage of this superior high ground.
Yeah, we're really starting to see the difference though in farm between Shibe and Boxy begin to play out. We can see Boxy as this playmaker, just walking up high ground, threatening for the Blink Dagger, forcing these reactions out from Chicken Fighters, and even in this last mid fight where we did get the kill onto Boxy thanks to the Rolling Thunder, Shibe had to just awkwardly roll at them for like 10 seconds before he was on top because he just doesn't have any items yet, right? He went for this Urn of Shadows first, and he's actually still going back for the Orb of Corrosion. I thought for sure we'd see like a Blink Dagger or even a Yule Scepter, something like that, but it's going to be the pure fighting style of Pangolier for now.
No, Orb is too good. Like I think Orb is the most OP item on Pangolier. You always have to get it. That's why I was surprised seeing the Urn as like a transitional item. I mean, if you're going to go for the Vessel this game, I think there's a justification for that to a degree. Against like the Slardar and Tiny particularly. I don't mind that. Even if you go for just Urn after Corrosion, I think that's fine too. But Over Corrosion is a necessity on the Pango. It's just so good. You get a massive slow, a little bit of a minus armor on a bunch of heroes every time you swashbuckle. It goes nicely with your lucky shot. It's just too great. So I like this build. I think I don't know if it's called a correction or the choice is the appropriate one. Pexu could be in trouble. Doesn't have a Spike Carpus, but that's not enough levels for Pexu to survive, I don't think. The Cold Feet not even going to trigger. Boxy even considering going for the Dusa, but Shibe... the Rolling Thunder, and yet again, he hits the corner of the Roshan, but it's going to be fine. Boxy's still dead. Taiga coming in, though, hoping to finish off Supreme. There's the Avalanche. Wants to trigger the Cold Feet, though, so not going to toss him. Supreme will be frozen solid as they fight the Dusa, but she has used the Stone Gaze herself. And now, in comes Shibe, disarming the poor Drow Ranger. It seems like Mickey just retreat Insania as well with a TP. He's not going to complete it in time. Too much damage, and Liquid is now being routed back home. Mickey could be in trouble. He has no TP himself. Mystic Snake will slow him down. Has the Infused rained up, but Shibe is very close by. Even the Cookie to get closer to Mickey, and that's going to be a dead Drow Ranger. Only Koikva survives this aggression from Liquid.
Yeah, that was a really good Rolling Thunder by Shibe. Very well played to him, because he rolls in from such an awkward angle. I don't really think Liquid were expecting them to come from their own high ground, but he splits that fight in half. The Dusa and the Drow Ranger, sorry, make that the Lina and the Drow Ranger, are both 2v1ing the Dusa, but they actually both end up getting turned to stone thanks to the Stone Gaze, and that fight very quickly falls apart for them as soon as they are able to kind of separate the two ranged right-clickers from the rest of the team, quite notably at least Boxy Slardar, who's the first to pop in the engagement. So really, really great fight out from Chicken Fighters. Liquid, though, again, not being restricted by their cooldowns. They know there's no Rolling Thunder. They know there's no Kisses. Oh, there's actually Rolling Thunder, but there's no Kisses, and now they want to go for a quick kill into Pexu. He's going to manage to find a stun. Avatos, though, and one extra bash out from Boxy is going to secure the kill. Top lane. Koikva setting a trap here onto Insania. Shibe is not going too far, though.
That Scatter Blast stopped Koikva's trap completely. They do hit him with the Ice Blast, though, Era. They see him with the Ice Vortex. Koikva You want to get the Song of Ice and Fire going? Oh, no, you missed the fire. But it's okay. Laguna Blade. Lightning will do. Who needs fire when you have lightning? And Liquid will be able to take down 2 supports. It's a little bit of a recovery kill, but this does transition nicely into Tiny Blink Dagger, which you just got. And now you should be able to continue the aggression you were using before, but with more success. Because the last initiation was actually technically Liquid's, and they lost, or not this one, but the one before, was technically theirs, and they lost it. That's a huge blow. Chicken Fighters can really respond appropriately to these aggressions. You have a lot of counter initiation, and that's what Liquid needs to be most wary of. You gotta find them either separated, or as you mentioned, with their ultimates on cooldown, so you can actually get the pickoffs you require. Otherwise, it's gonna be a bit tough, especially now that TA is, I would argue, pretty much online.
Yeah, I think this game, she's like really online with the Blink Dagger, I would say.
Yes, I
right?
agree.
She hits hard and she hits from pretty far away thanks to the Dragon Lance, and she's got the levels. But I think for her this game, Blink Dagger's a little bit of a game changer, like our panel said, because you got 2 very similar heroes, the Lina Drow Ranger, who both don't want you to be right in front of them. They get very uncomfortable with that, and that's where TA is really in her groove. But they, speaking of TA, though, actually, Supreme is farming right underneath a ward. Liquid are going to smoke on over to him. Boxy, his smoke will break, but he's not going to make the blind jump in with the tier 1 tower from Chicken Fighters being at full HP.
Yeah, they've been playing very much around their triangle, and as a proper aggressive team, if you're Dire, you actually try to take over the top part of the map. Your jungle is a bit better, and you can take over the Radiant Triangle, but that tier 1 tower is a big nuisance. And also this controls Roshan, which is important for Liquid because you have a Slaughter Drow, right? In fact, it's actually important because Chicken Fighters also has a good Roshan taking lineup with the Pango plus TA, so you want to be able to secure that objective. It's just been a bit tough because the counter initiation from Chicken Fighters makes their triangle pretty much untouchable, and this hasn't allowed Liquid to move as freely as they'd maybe like. As you can see, the bottom part of the map has been completely ignored, and that's why Deuce is free farming their own jungle.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, exactly. And then for Chicken Fighters, again, without like a blink on Pango, without this blink on TA, starting their fights is going to only rely on Nyx Assassin, and that expects your enemies not to have sentry wards in key positions, and that's not something you can gamble on in TI-10 qualifiers, especially when it's a lower bracket elimination match. So for now, Chicken Fighters just continuing to farm up their next array of items. The DD rune active. They're going to go hunting here for a Pangolin, and they will see. Oh, now they've got eyes on Shibe. Taiga with the Blink Dagger here. Yeah, is not going to be able to catch up to him, unfortunately. Shibe is playing with them. He still has Swashbuckle, so he shouldn't get caught here.
No, they also used the Blink Dagger. I think Shibe is fine. Yep, the nighttime vision really screwed over Taiga here. Shibe, oh, Shibe. No. What is he doing? Is he looking to... Yeah, he's actually looking to bait them even further, to waste their time. The more you're wasting Tiny's time here, the more space you're creating for your team. Shibe doesn't want to give up this jungle just yet. No, okay, now they're going to hit him. Ice Blast, Shibe, you played... Or you flew too close to the sun, and now you're going to get frozen as a result. So goodbye to Shibe. Or shattered.
Yep, he's going to be shattered. Kisses in the mid lane, though, as they will find that kill onto Boxy. It's going to be Supreme's Blink Dagger being shown off now, so they're not the only ones, or you're not the only ones who can go for solo pickoffs, is what Chicken Fighters are saying to Liquid now, as right now both teams can very easily kind of just pick each other apart one by one.
Okay, there's a little... Now with Supreme, I feel like you can actually go and hunt the Lina and the Drow a bit more reliably, as you were mentioning. I think now it's truly, as you say, becoming online. Because now you actually have... I would say initiation. Until now, you really were only a counter initiator, unless Nyx got like a surprising impale, well, vendetted. So maybe Chicken Fighter is looking for a smoke, or will look for a smoke soonish. They might just not seem. They might not feel too pressured though. They might feel like, okay, we still have control over the map. We actually have been given a fair amount of control over the map because Liquid's been trying for these really hard aggressive plays. We can continue farming, so not much pressure. But as a Dusa versus Drow, I would like to. Sorry. If I was Chicken Fighters, I'd like to play a bit more aggressively here.
Okay, okay. Well, I think Liquid's not going to give him the chance here. Pardon me, because Koikva's about to have his BKB delivered. The rest of the team is grouped up around him. I think they're going to maybe look for an aggressive play. There's the BKB online. One thing I wanted to very quickly point out, though, is that Boxy, it looked like he was going to go for the Sange, presumably eventually into the Heaven's Halberd. I still think it's a pretty darn good item this game, especially versus 2 ranged carries. But he's decided against it for now, so he's still have the money for it, but he's queued up instead the Force Staff after only buying the Belt of Strength. So we'll see what this develops into, as that's going to give us a good insight onto how Liquid are feeling this game out, if that makes sense.
I think that's also partially due to the fact that Lina is going for the BKB. So if you notice on Liquid, I mean, wait, Insania is going to die first, I think. Yeah, you're not getting out of this one. Oh, maybe not with a counter initiation. Insania actually uses the Ice Blast here, and that might be a Nyx dead here thanks to the Laguna Blade. BKB has been used also by Koikva, but Koikva almost died to the physical damage from Supreme alone. Not that big an engagement, only support for support. Insania actually bought back for that. It might be that Liquid is looking to fight this again. Mickey gets surprised by the trap. Koikva, he does have the regen rune. We're fine.
Okay, I was about to say that's a pretty big win for Chicken Fighters because now they can just like push a tier 1 tower. You don't have BKB on Lina. AA bought back, but he doesn't have his spells right now, and I don't think you're too afraid of them because literally all we used there for Chicken Fighters was just a Nyx Assassin Impale. That was the longest CD used. Yep. Now with that regen rune, unfortunately, they're not going to be able to do much about it. Still a good win here. Again, Supreme showing off the power of the Blink Dagger, right? Immediately into the face of Lina. Lina wants nothing to do with that. BKBs still almost dies, but manages to at least escape with her life, only in exchange for the Nyx Assassin. So, yeah, Chicken Fighters still holding their own very nicely.
So on the point that I was making earlier is because Lina went for the BKB, Slardar feels like you need to be more of a frontliner, also initiator. Oh, Shibe might just die. No, Shibe actually surviving here, Rolling Thunder, but he was going to hit the wall immediately, so he decides, what's the point of wasting this ultimate instead? They're going to lose Taiga alone. So, as I was making, Slardar becoming more of an initiator because Lina has that survivability, so she's not as valuable or as easy a target anymore thanks to the BKB, and now going for Shivas. So not as much of a glass can as we're talking about, but not quite protection utility, as we can say. So she's not going to become the second target to go with a Drow, but she'll make sure that Slardar only needs to save Drow. So the Force Staff, Blink Dagger allows Slardar to actually be more aggressive. This allows Drow to hit. You don't need to go for Heaven Saber to save her because you already have the Force Staff in any case, if you ever need to save the Drow, because you only need one save. So
yeah.
I like this optimization by Liquid.
I think that makes sense.
You can see the team itemizing together, which is what I like the most about them.
I agree. I agree with that. I think that's kind of a succinct way to put it, right? They're itemizing to play as a team together in these fights. Box is going to be a little bit like the Coast Guard here, right? Just sailing on over to you and getting the Force Staff and maybe even going for a couple of kills. Pexu's real darn fast here on the Spiked Carapace, but unfortunately the stun's not going to last long enough to hold down Boxy for too long. The immediate smoke play, however, out from Liquid is maybe they're going to look for a Roche. Maybe they look for a +1 here, but Chicken Fighters in position, ready to break smokes on the high ground as they've already done so to Koikva. Liquid, though, still trying to sneak around. Supreme still regenerating up. They're going to make the jump onto him. Era is patient as ever. There's the Rolling Thunder, the counter initiation now coming through from Chicken Fighters as Charlie is going to prevent Koikva from walking uphill thanks to the Stone Gaze. Boxy now running for his life in the river is going to be able to escape. That's an eye. Scotty just finished up for the Deuce now. I think that makes you reevaluate this fight for Liquid, even after this tiny buyback. That's a big item here.
Yep, you want to go for the Roshan instead. You know they just used the Rolling Thunder. They still have Mortimer's Kisses to go into the pit, but Rolling Thunder is their biggest pit ability, so I do feel like Liquid can take this Roshan. We'll see what Chicken Fire tries to do. They did use the Stone Gaze as well, by the way, so those are the two, I would say, that you can defend the Roshan with. They go for a smoke here, Chicken Fighters, just trying to get into position. That's an illusion, Charlie, but it's fine. Kill the illusion so they don't get vision. And Charlie has been tossed back. This time, they don't have an ultimate. Charlie could be in trouble, but they just don't have enough damage to kill him. In fact, the first person to die here is going to be Mickey, who did take the Aegis and a second life. Can they kill him a second time? He has a Hurricane Pike to get back up to the high ground. That's perfectly fine, and Taiga still looking for Pexu. Always the kill Liquid wants to kill first. And they're going to get Pexu quickly, but maybe in exchange for Taiga, or perhaps in exchange for Koikva. That Yule Scepter is going to keep him up for a bit, but Koikva will eventually die. Only get Laguna Blade off, and the Cookie even saves Shibe here. They need a little bit more damage. Avalanche will do the trick, but you lost Koikva, you lost Insane now. You also lost Boxy earlier. And Mickey could be the last man to die here, as he does get Supreme before he dies. Mickey with the Hurricane Pike. He's actually might find the Dusa with the Cookie. Dusa getting close to Mickey. Up close and personal is not going to work out. Koikva comes and helps his ally here. They have no more stuns, but the Yule Scepter will keep the Dusa in place. Era trying to stop a marksmanship, but Mickey will be able to get enough space to get away. Charlie now in trouble. He's out of mana. Koikva needs to chase after him, or perhaps Taiga. Blink Dagger in just 1 second. We have Avalanche Toss. They're going to keep Charlie in place, and that should be a kill. Liquid did it. What a game by Mickey. Oh god, his positioning this fight was on point, and that's what thwarted Chicken Fighter's plans.
Yeah, really, really great positioning there. Just kind of calculated. He knew he could get that kill pretty easily there onto the Templar Assassin. Continues fighting around, and then, of course, the Force Staffs. And that went so much better for them. I think, you know, if this was a weaker Drow player than Mickey, I think they probably still would have lost that. I think that comes down to Mickey just being really darn good at Dota 2. But because you could tell how difficult that fight was thanks to the Eye of Scotty. This 50%, what is it, 40% attack slow or whatever, 25% movement speed slow, sorry. That's huge for a Drow Ranger, especially when you need to get away from these heroes. You can see the damage pre and post that marksmanship passive being active. It's a whole different world, but Mickey definitely recognizing this and managing to live through the whole darn thing. Does lose Aegis immediately, but it's still such a huge win, especially because you get the Dusa, you get the TA. Pretty sure you get everyone in that fight from Chicken Fighters. So Liquid in a very good position here after this fight.
Here you notice one of the weaknesses of the core-to-core matchups, which is and why they're actually going for Nyx all the time. If Nyx is dead and also Pango, who is actually going to go and stop the marksmanship? You saw the Dusa having to do that. You saw the Snapfire having to do that. But they're ranged heroes. They don't want to be up close and personal with the Drow. They just have to, because that's the only way they win this matchup. And when they do that, they become vulnerable to Taiga. They become vulnerable to Koikva and their Tiny and Lina, because they're actually there where they can be hit by those stuns and by those combos. So it's a pickle for Chicken Fighters. It's the biggest puzzle for them this game. Who is going to get close to the Drow to stop the marksmanship?
Supreme's going to get close to the Tiny to kill him. That should be relatively easy. In fact, Ern might kill him. I think he's going to die to Ern.
No, he's actually going to survive.
Wow, 11 HP.
Even the Swashbuckle, they attempted everything. Taiga. Second time he does this where he just barely escapes.
Yep. And now Boxy's going back for the Sanj, presumably into the Heaven's Halberd. Now we're kind of recognizing, okay, Eye of Scotty's really annoying. Let's go ahead and make sure that Charlie can't hit us all with that debuff, or make sure that Supreme just has to stand there awkwardly for 5 seconds, because, you know, he's not going to be enjoying that. BKB is at the ready, though, for Supreme. So it's not like Chicken Fighters are without resources to take fights here, especially as all their ultimates begin to come back off of cooldown. So Liquid are just going to have to acquiesce that tier 1 tower and look for a fight at a different time.
All right. I think Liquid has beaten their biggest hurdle, which is the Dusa and TA timing, and now you're actually starting to look pretty good. I mean, you still have to deal with the TA until she really does fall off, but Drow, like I said, the core-to-core is pretty solid on you, and now it's up to Chicken Fighters to make some really solid plays. I don't know if Butterfly is the best of options here for Supreme. I like the movement speed it provides. I don't think Evasion is that great against Drow. But I can't imagine what else. I mean, I don't know if Hurricane Pike is even valuable here for the TA. Just to get close to the Drow, besides the Blink Dagger. Because you might need to play as a melee hero this game as TA. Nope. Talk about TA. He does have a BKB, but the Ice Blast is going to hit. Rolling Thunder protecting her. In fact, they're going to go for Taiga. This time they really want Taiga. But can they get it? Is Taiga just immortal here? They hailed him with a Glimmer Cape. Shibe actually dies immediately to make it. They're still trying to kill Taiga, and they've lost Shibe, they lost Peksu. Finally, Taiga dies, but in exchange for 3 already. They're going to continue this fight. Air is the target, but Stone Gaze actually stopping the Lina and also Mickey. They know they're still stronger, so they're going to fight through that Stone Gaze, but Liquid doesn't want to dive this tower too hard. Still a great trade for them, though.
Oh, yeah, fantastic. I mean, basically, Ghost Scepter ruined that fight for them. Supreme went into the meld, ready to meld strike and absolutely murder the Tiny and then move on to anyone else in the fight. But he actually messed up the meld strike, and I think that kind of threw off his tempo. He was expecting to meld strike and then further attack, and then he just kind of awkwardly moved out of meld because he couldn't attack, obviously, someone that was in the ethereal form. Good Force Staff out from Boxy as he just procs a couple of reactions here. But it's going to be Chicken Fighters still holding on to their tier 2 tower despite losing that little fight. Once again, though, having used just about every single one of their big ultimates, right? In fact, all of them. We're going to have Rolling Thunder back up in 7 seconds, so Chicken Fighters eager to try and find something here for their time, but a kill onto Boxy in the river is not the easiest one to come by. Drow Ranger now has the Frost Arrows. Just want to point that out real quick for Mickey.
You mean the Shard?
Yeah. The Shard, yes, the Hypothermia.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, kind of actually pretty solid this game because I think the explosions really help you, first of all, cancel a couple of Blink Daggers. Might be an issue against the Nyx. And also help you deal with the Dusa or TA if they want to start building Lifesteal or anything like that. So that's important. I think they help you farm a lot, so you can actually rival the Dusa. But I'm very impressed with how Mick has been keeping up with her. I mean, you have Split Shot, and you're a Drow. Marksmanship is decent, but it's no Split Shot, it's no Glaives. It's actually really, really impressive that you've been able to keep up with her this whole time.
Yeah, I'd agree. Marksmanship's pretty darn good, but it's not as good as it used to be when you could just one-shot Ancients at level 6. That was pretty ridiculous. I'm glad they made that change. But so yeah, it is pretty incredible actually, because Charlie Charlie's had what split shot since minute maxed anyway since minute 8 or whatever, right? And he's still actually unable to keep up in farm. Even Koikfa actually is doing well to keep pace with the Dusa. That's really the power of BOTs though. That's why this item helps you scale like this. Not only does it help your team by pushing all around the map and making sure you can just send someone back to deep push waves, but it also dramatically increases your net worth here into the late game as we're now, or into the mid-late game as we're now starting to enter.
They call it the mid laner's Midas, right? You know, and some mid laners go for BOTs and Midas. You're like, why are you buying the same item twice? I don't understand. And that's called being Arc Warden. So
it is true.
Dusa does get a dataless here. The only thing that I've heard as a criticism of Hypothermia is that, or the shard for Drow, is that it doesn't beat BKB. Like, obviously, as opposed to Scotty, who goes to BKB, that doesn't. So it's like, why would I buy this if I can just buy Scotty? Obviously, one is much more expensive than the other, though. But that aside. But I think that in this game, when you have a Dusa who doesn't really want to buy BKB, honestly, TA yes, but Dusa certainly doesn't. You don't really mind that. Hypothermia will bother her. It might even force her to buy BKB at some point if she really feels like those stacks are piling up. And she doesn't have the option of avoiding the BKB, going for something like Satanic, because Hypothermia will cancel that too. So I actually like that very much.
Nice little ring around the rosy, or as I like to call this, the toilet bowl rotations. When they smoke and then rotate the same way around the maps, they're just destined not to find each other, unfortunately, for the viewers. But good map movements by both teams, kind of recognizing enemies are missing off the map, waves are pushed in a neutral spot, let's go looking for a fight. They're just not going to find it.
I hear that when these rotations happen in Australia, they rotate the opposite way. Is that true?
I believe so, yeah. I believe that is true. I mean, it's the same thing in SA, isn't it, right? I mean, you'd be able to tell me that as well.
Well, in SA, they don't really rotate. They just, you see the team spreading in 5 different directions. They just scatter like the wind, and you go, oh, okay. That's a fight. Let's see. They're going to go in for the smoke. Chicken Fighters, look, they went into the high ground somewhat safely. I feel like Liquid is well-positioned for a pincer movement. But Chicken Fighters still with a good counter initiation. They actually got Liquid here. And Taiga blinks in time. Shebe once again, not getting the Rolling Thunder he was looking for. Taiga just trying to divert the attention, but this time, Taiga will die a bit sooner. Liquid acknowledging that Taiga didn't last for 13 seconds.
In trouble.
They still want to fight? No, Supreme blinked in time there, thanks to the refraction. Taiga, he did buy back for this, but he doesn't actually, he's not going to die a second time as Boxy's covering his initiation for now. They actually forced a Stone Gaze. Not bad for Liquid. They know they can continue. They're pretty free right now as they kill off Pexu. Next target is Charlie, who's quite slow. They toss him back. The Cookie's not going to help him too much. They got the Drow hitting him, and Charlie's going to fall immediately. Shibe needs to get away, but Shibe's not going to last against the Slaughter either. They do save Supreme at the very least for now. Era has been slowed, and the Spider likes to get away, but Supreme, they know where you are, Supreme. This meld is not going to help you. They have enough area damage, Avalanche, Gust, everything on Supreme. That's all 3 cores dead. Liquid got the fight that they were looking for.
Yeah, absolutely. I want to give huge props to Taiga in that fight. Again, making this initiation so awkward for Supreme. He eventually kind of ends up kiting him out of position because Supreme is actually the only hero. By the way, that Roche died immediately. Holy moly. Second Roche already. Let's just acknowledge who took the shard. It looks like it was Boxy. Boxy's now got that Aghanim shard here for the Slardar, which is going to make your crush a little bit easier to hit, actually by quite a bit. A radius increase of 75. You have to remember that's 75 squared times pi. Of course, for our math fans out there.
Of course.
But it's a pretty big one. It's really nice for him, especially because he's already hitting all of these multiple hero crushes anyway. But just to highlight Taiga, again, this Ghost Scepter is such a pain in the butt for Supreme. He's the only one who blinks down to the low ground. The fight looks good initially, but once again, he doesn't get any kills off from that. They end up picking off Taiga eventually, but he just buys back and he's in there again. And now Supreme's out of the fight. He had to rotate all the way around the Roche pit while the rest of his team was still right next to that dire outpost. So Liquid, they're just playing these fights not quite perfectly, right? But they're kind of abusing the eagerness and the explosiveness that Supreme wants to throw out and using it against them. It's really quite nice to watch.
The fight's just so tough for Chicken Fighters, honestly, because of the Drow existing. You really need someone to jump her, and this is what leads to this eagerness or to the degree of desperation of just, how do we kill this Drow? How do we get close to her? And I feel like Taiga is the best at abusing this right now. He's like going into the fights early. They know they have to kill Taiga because otherwise he's going to save the Drow or he's going to push someone back or toss someone back in the wrong position. And if they don't kill him early, and with honestly his tankiness, they just struggle. So Taiga diverts the attention, separates the fight. Boxy does the same. They create a chaotic team fight, and by then your counter initiation, however good it is so difficult to use. Rolling Thunder with spread targets doesn't look that great. Stone Gaze, you just look away, you're fine, you can always re-engage. And the Mortimer's Kisses, we haven't really seen a moment to be able to use them, because there's always a stun ready to cancel them. Or a silence.
Yeah, or silence. Yeah, that's so far so good then. Oh, and one of my favorite interactions, you can gust a TA out of her refraction. Or her meld strike, sorry. Yeah. So that's always really funny to see. You just kind of blow some pocket sand over her, push her back a little bit, and out she goes. So that's what they use to pop that Weasel. Mika, by the way, already up to level 25. He's gone for the CDR. It's going to help him greatly now. Lower cooldown on the BKBs, lower cooldown on Hurricane Pikes, which is great because the rest of your team also has really low cooldowns, and you're really only restricted on fighting whenever your BKB's online. So this is going to help Mika and the rest of Liquid just continually apply pressure and really put their foot on the gas here.
Yep. Now they want to take over the triangle, I would say. Then you push mid and top, honestly. And this allows you to have complete control over Roshan. I mean, obviously taking over the triangle is always useful, but in the current state of the game, you push the top and mid lane. You leave bottom to push alone, because that's going to be... like that's the dead lane for Chicken Fighters anyway, usually. So now you exert pressure to the whole map anyway, but due to the nature of your rotations, and you keep control over Roshan. So when it spawns again, they won't have a chance to take it. And it's so difficult for Chicken Fighters to contest this, because like we've been harping on the whole time, they lack an initiator. They really only have Shibe. And now we're starting to see the biggest issue of playing Pango against ranged heroes, which is, oh, just get on top of them. Easy, right? But if you don't, if you happen to miss that initial stun, Drab will kill you, like in a matter of seconds.
This is going to become very similar. Oh, this is a Satanic. I was like, what are we doing with a Reeve here? Mika? Satanic, of course. This is going to be very similar to like a TB, where, oh, there's a Pangolier rolling at me. That's adorable, and he's just going to kill him before he can even get halfway there, pretty much. It's the same exact thing here with the Drow Ranger. Charlie, there's going to be the stun onto 2. Mika starting to pump at the damage here, but Boxy needs to go back himself away. My goodness, Charlie already down to half HP and mana, so that's why he's going to go ahead and pop the Stone Gaze. But Liquid will just take this opportunity to go ahead and heal back up a little bit and get ready to go right back on in. We still have half duration left of this double damage rune for the Lina, who's taken the plus 150 attack range talent here at level 25.
The Rax did regen. Oh, they don't really care about the backdoor protection whatsoever. Oh my god, Drow. Oh lord. Alright, backdoor protection doesn't matter. It did disappear towards the end. Make it takes Elena Rax for free. And, I mean, now you're waiting out the Aegis, but because of the control from Liquid, I think they'll still be able to take the next Roshan. So what Chicken Fighters need to do is wait for the Aegis to expire, which they definitely have calculated, and between that timing and when next Roshan spawns, force a fight with a smoke, and ideally flank them. Or here, time it so well, and you kill them right before the Aegis, unless they actually toss the Deuce back. The Deuce is in trouble. She has no mana. They hit her with the Ice Blast as well. The Cookie's not going to help her. They don't care about the Lotus Orb. Charlie's going to die. And they even saved Taiga thanks to the Force Staffs and the catch Shibe. No more Pangolier, no more Dusa, which means no Initiator, no damage, and no big AB on TA. How's she going to get in?
Okay, well, there's Aegis being reclaimed. Chicken Fighters, if there's a time to fight, it's going to be now. They're on top of the TA, but a huge crush up from Boxy. Catches 3. The Cookie, though, and the Rolling Thunder. That's going to be a dead Drow Ranger for 100 seconds. Koikva now in a bad spot. Does not have the BKB. Has a Yule Scepter, but no chance to use it. As Chicken Fighters, they have to buy back and throw whatever they've got at Liquid, and it's going to net them 3 kills here. Nice job out from Chicken Fighters. I mean, hey, it was difficult to get in, but Shibe with the Blink Dagger, he was huge there.
And look, Liquid was thinking the same thing as me, and then like, right, buybacks. That's a way to deal with us. So yeah, good job, Chicken Fighters. That was really on point for Shibe. I think there was a moment of like a lull of happiness for Liquid that Shibe took advantage of by being able to roll in, as they had. Usually their line is always the Slaughter of the Tiny in front. You know, Taiga and Boxy protecting the Drow Ranger. This time you actually saw Mike kind of being the frontliner, not on purpose. And Shibe took advantage of that really well with a really quick buyback. On point. I think that's the way you want to come back into this game. Still tough to do this consistently, but it's a start if Chicken Fighters wants to win this game.
Yeah, it's a start. Something I really want to mention very quickly, because I've been very keen to call out Taiga, or not to call him out, to praise Taiga is a better word, on his positioning and on his hijinks here, and just kind of generally ruin Supreme's game. Supreme has got the nullifier for him now, so he's not going to be able to do that any longer. This is also a huge item because, as you're very keen to point out, we've got, what, 3 4-staffs already available, right? Maybe even more. 4 4-staffs, I think. Everyone but Lina has a 4-staff on the side of Liquid, and with nullifier, those aren't going to do anything, right, with the nullifier active on. So that's a really huge item here, not only for securing these kills onto Tiny, but making sure that whoever is the nullifier target can't really get too much assistance from the rest of the team.
That's a good point, because Taiga has been saved by the Ghost Scepter, the Glimmer Cape, and the Force Staffs, right? So you pretty much, that's the catch-all for any sort of save for Tiny, so I agree. And killing Taiga in the beginning is very, very important for these teamfights to go well for you.
Yeah, I'd say killing him at least before he can get off a second salvo of spells, right? Because that's what Tiny wants to do. He wants to go in, get off his spells. He's going to try and walk away. If he dies, he dies. He shrugs. But if he can walk away, get Blink Dagger, Avatos ready to go again, he's going fishing again. And you don't want that to happen.
Yep, and you're screwed if that happens, honestly, because then, on top of that, you've also wasted a bunch of time on Tiny that probably Liquid used to hit the rest of your heroes or to initiate, right? It's not like they're just giving you a freebie. And now the choice for Boxy here is, do I want to go in and save my Tiny by maybe potentially sacrificing myself? You know, by slithering, crushing the enemy team and saving the Tiny. You have a Heaven's Halberd. There is a chance you can accomplish that, but it is a risky play for sure for Liquid.
Okay. Real quick, we'd be remiss if we didn't address this, and you'll know what I'm referring to pretty much immediately. If we take a look over, in Medusa's inventory, we can see she's got the item, Avo.
Oh,
the
no.
Flicker. Ready to go.
I'm so sorry. I think you guys played a really good game, but yep, the gods just wanted chicken fighters. No, I think Flicker is
still have a drop.
Is
item
useful
to drop
this
here.
game.
We still have an item to drop. What'd they get? Oh, they got
Minotaur Horn's pretty good.
No Flicker.
Look, Liquid got spider legs. Liquid got spider legs. It's not like they're at a disadvantage here. I think the Flicker is actually really solid to deal with the hypothermia and actually allows you to not get BKB, which is what the Dusa wants to do the whole time. But it's not that great this game. I feel like they're... well, I guess you dispel Corrosive Haze.
I think it's pretty darn good. It's like the item to annoy a Slardar. It gets rid of cold feet.
You're right. If you are ever considering going for the other talent at level 25, Boxy, don't. Corrosive Haze Undispellable is the way to go.
Oh, that's the way to go, for sure. Yeah, 100%. I think that talent is so darn annoying to play against.
Like, Slithering Crush minus cooldown is really good for initiating, but this time, against Flicker, you just have to. Well, Split Shot uses modifiers, of course. I mean, I've never seen someone... Well, I've never seen someone successfully take the 75 Intelligence talent. It's very underwhelming.
Yeah, usually that's a level 30 talent for sure. My goodness, Mickey is hitting like a Big Mac truck here, isn't he? 332 base damage, of course, plus the 104. 50 base armor. Whew, so many stats.
That is a huge amount of armor, actually. And Deuce is not good at dealing with these kind of things, right? Deuce is great at dealing spread damage, but when this comes to a single target, you struggle sometimes.
Yeah, I'm wondering even like with this Daedalus, with the Meld Strike and Adesso on top, that's a lot of minus armor, but with what? What did I say, 50, 40? Yeah, 50 base
50,
armor.
50.
Like you need to really get armor, what is it? Like the closer it gets to 0, the more damage it does, but like from 0 to 20, you're still pretty darn good to go, so I don't know if that's going to be too much. There's Pexu. He's actually going to be found out as Roshan is just immediately murdered. Mickey's going to be the one to pick up the Aegis, but Koikfa turned to stone here by Charlie, who pops his BKB, wants this kill into Koikfa. In fact, Charlie flickering forward, gets the max distance, is going to be able to pick off the AA. Down goes the Lina now, as back behind the Roche pit, Shibe is having a fun time rolling around. Mickey not having such a fun time, especially as Supreme right on top of him, disarmed momentarily here by Boxy, allows Mickey to get off a little bit more damage, but without marksmanship procs, he's not doing all that much. Supreme now has to be keeping himself away. A good lucky shot out from the Pangolier means that there's not a bash here coming for Supreme, but the buyback out from Koikfa. The LSA is going to find him, stunned up in place and killed off will be Supreme. Era is going to be next to go. We did get the buyback out from that and the Aegis out from under Mickey. Both heroes on Chicken Fighters have buyback, and I suspect Liquid are going to look to force that now.
Just because the position Chicken Fighters is in, I'd argue that's kind of a small win for them, right? Because taking the Aegis is very important here, and you did force that buyback. Koikva is a killable target, so I'm assuming that's what you're going to go for first in the fight now. I mean, you can't really ignore Mickey, but if ideally Nyx can just hold on and just like grab onto Mickey's leg and stop that marksmanship, and then afterwards you hopefully try to kill Alina with that. Oh look, he's doing it. He's impaled her. Oh, Taiga saw the Nyx, wants to kill him. He gets force death, but Taiga is actually too far away. They didn't use the nullifier. They don't have the TA here. Yeah, so the force staff is gonna save his life there. Taiga felt so free for a second.
What was the third item? It must have been an Ag Shard, right? Because I don't see anyone with a refresher.
No, it was an
Agnum's Synth, sorry. Agnum's Blessing, whatever.
I don't know what
got
to put
it,
it.
So Aegis went to Drow. It was taken. She's now holding on to the cheese. I don't see anyone with Ags. I don't know if someone just ate the refresher immediately in the fight. I didn't catch it.
I thought when I looked at the Roshan that it was Ags, but to be honest, I was looking at the Observer, so I'm not entirely certain.
Okay. I'm not sure.
Could have been the shard, and I just didn't. Well, there's no new shards either.
There's no new Ags Blessing. That was third Rosh for sure. So it was either the refresher shard or the Ags Blessing. I don't see anyone with one. So maybe it got denied. Who knows? We'll have to check the tape for that one. We'll have to check the tape and get back to you.
I apologize for that. I'm sure chat will correct it. So just give it 10 minutes and they'll figure it out.
Of course, as they always do.
I don't. Why do you even mention these things when they can just see everything for us?
Honestly.
There's a Swift Blink coming out for Drow Ranger soon. The MV build, famous. I'm playing a ranged hero, so Blink is my first time. He was the inventor of this on Clinks and Drow, dude. Credit where credit is due. FPS. All right, look, this is enough time for chat to catch up so they can read it and then find out what happened.
There you go. I mean, to not only envies, but your credit for calling this out, and also the RNG of Liquid. When you get spider legs, like, of course you're gonna get rid of your boots and go for a Swift Blink. Like Swift Blink, it's not as busted as it used to be in 7.28 or whatever the last patch was, when it was like the item. It was like second item on everyone because you would break the move speed and run around at the speed of light. But it's still pretty darn good, especially when you have spider legs good to go, because we don't really need power treads. The 10 stats, Drow's not gonna really be hurting too much for those because Mickey is now at the very plus 322 base damage without them, so he's going to be able to just about one-shot the entire game here with that amount.
Our wonderful production team told us it was Ag's blessing, but I love this phrase. No idea the fate, though. What was the fate that befell of the Ag's blessing? We do not know. They must have denied it. I swear I saw the Ag's blessing as well, and then I'm like, it's not there. So, yeah, okay. Must have hit it. Someone must have hit it.
Someone must have hit it.
Who needs Ags?
Who needs eggs? I mean, what? We don't have any eggs in this game, I think, actually, right? Just
no,
a bunch
exactly.
of shards?
That's why.
Yeah.
I think Liquid wants to. They have like a little challenge, you know. Blitz is like, guys, if you win without Ags, I'll cook you the best meal.
It's
we'll all go to the gym together.
It's a disarmament treaty, you know. Before they met, they had like a nice little summit where, you know, it was beyond the summit even, where they met.
It was
and
the two
had
generals.
salty 3 talks, you know, for our history fans.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then they decided, you know what? No Ags are allowed. They have to abandon all the stockpiles of Ags, and for that reason, you know, if a Roshan drops an Ags, it has to be denied. That's just the way it was.
If there's any people I trust to actually uphold this treaty, it would totally be Northern Europeans. There's no more wholesome people. Like Chicken Fighters and Liquid that just met up. Era's like, yep, for sure, we'll do this.
Yep. Absolutely.
And you ever met Insania? I think that's the first that comes to mind as well. He would totally go for that and be like, yeah, that sounds appropriate for a game that ATI is on the line. Yeah, that seems appropriate. If we promised it, we can't break that promise. Yeah.
No X. This is a no X zone.
There's gonna be Chicken Fighters going for a smoke here. I think this is the best choices they have now, by the way, to expand your map. You go for the smokes. You ideally take over your triangle again with the smoke, by the way, which is the most important part for Chicken Fighters, because this is not only the Roshan, like I mentioned earlier, but also making sure you don't get choked to death. And if you could sweep the enemy jungle, that'd be ideal, but I think that's a bit of a tall order right now for them. Maybe you wait for the Swift Blink on Supreme. Maybe that's the next item that you really helps you out.
I think so.
It's tough.
I think so. The thing is, you really want buyback though on Mickey right now. The game is very much in a balance. I mean, with TA Dusa, like these are building shredders. Absolutely, like obviously, right? You don't just wait for them to go. I mean, really, any lineup at 50 minutes in is going to absolutely shred your base if you don't have buyback. So it's just out of the question. I know for a lot of people who play Dota, that's like a wild concept, but for Mickey, he's very well aware of the consequences that a death without buyback at this stage would entail.
Yep. I mean, I don't know. I've seen Liquid. Liquid does some crazy things in the late game. It's partially why they're so fun to watch, right? sometimes they are aware of the consequences, but it's almost like they have a mentality, which I think is appropriate, of we shouldn't care too much about it, because that just stops whatever progression you can have. That's why I think the smoke is appropriate. Like, don't play too defensive. Don't let the Indian team come back. But Chicken Fighter is well positioned here for the smoke. You can guess where they are, Charlie. Okay.
Charlie?
What? That blink? Charlie? He wants to become a ward there for a second, but he has a flicker. He has a flicker, so it's fine. In fact, Charlie, he's not fine. They toss him back. Taiga, they hit him with a nullifier. They can't force him any further. Taiga might just die to this. Yeah, Taiga's dead. And Liquid,
what?
They need to... Oh, shit.
What?
What just happened to Shibe?
Oh no!
Shibe, he's going to be killed between two walls. This can't happen, Shibe. Not like this. Not like this, Shibe. He's actually going to survive. No, the last hit by Drow. Finished him off. Mickey has to get away. He's been slowed by the Scotty. Has the BKB. They hit him with a nullifier. They can't force him to safety. The Mortimer is on top of that. Mickey is going to die. Buying back immediately. Koikva needs to now take over the role of Mickey. Taiga even came back into this fight as well. Want to regain the high ground here. Koikva using that Shivas, trying to slow down Era, at least getting a cheeky extra kill on the support, but
they need
he's been
something.
slowed by the traps. He can't get Era. Those traps are too annoying. Era's going to be able to TP. Boxy, can you guess it? No.
That was huge. That was huge. That's absolutely huge for Chicken Fighters. We did have to expend the buyback there for Shibe to get back into the game, or to kind of still make the fight. But Mickey buying back is absolutely huge, because Roshan's not going to be up for at least 2 minutes, maybe an additional 5. We still have buyback on Dusa and TA. So right now, Liquid, they just have to stick together and hold each other's hands as they move around the map. Because if Mickey dies, the game is over in these next 3 minutes.
I honestly would say that Taiga buying back is also pretty huge, because now you don't have this reliable suicidal form that can go in and you know, even if it doesn't, like you said it before, if I don't survive, who cares? It's fine. I'm a 4. But that's only because you have buyback. Like at this point of the game, you losing that Tiny is huge, and with a nullifier, you no longer have save for this Tiny. So, I mean, that nullifier, it's paying dividends. It actually stopped the Drow and the Tiny from being saved. It's the best counter to the 4-step. It's honestly such a good pickup here. Supreme might have won in the game with that pickup. That fight was won by the nullifier for sure, against Drow and against Tiny.
Yep. Yeah, the fight's, again, really awkward when Tiny's not there. Poor Pangolier, though. Someone submit a bug report on that wall. In case you're unaware, in the Roche pit, and we'll do this very briefly, these walls and these walls don't exist. You can't pin anyone with a spear. You can't bounce off of these. It's only this lava kind of waterfall wall on the back lines, or on the rear end of the wall that actually counts. I've never seen anyone get stuck like that in that specific area of Roche, so that's a bit unfortunate, because he literally almost died. I mean, he did die because of that, really, but he almost died while he was bouncing back and forth. He was just like, what is going on?
This game, Shiva's playing against 6 people, right? Like, he's playing against the 5 Liquid players and the map, which is against him this whole game. It's so difficult for the poor guy. And as Pengo, I think you're the best bug reporter, because you are the one that's going to find all these terrain bugs every single game. And Shibe, I mean, it ended up being a really good bait for them, though, so kudos to that. Maybe Roshan wanted to bait Shibe.
This map is the evil cousin of Dora the Explorer's map. It's not really too nice.
It's true. It's alive, and it hates pangolins.
Yeah,
what do you mean, in danger of extinction? No, I'm going to make you extinct.
Roche is up here. Good vision on Charlie, of course, but he's being escorted by the rest of Chicken Fighters. We're missing the Nyx Assassin. They're going to scout him now, but we need the Gem of True Sight on over to really see where he's at. There's Boxy going to make the jump on over. Charlie, though, so with Blink on in, he's going to look for Koikva. Koikva not wanting to pick up the BKB yet. He's going to just die, actually. The roll-up right on top, and that's a dieback, Avo. Supreme still has BKB ready to go. They're going to try and kill Taiga before he TP away, but the map stops Shibe from doing so. Boxy now pops his BKB, still being slowed to a crawl, and they might even have the damage through the BKB TP. No, he's going to be able to live, and pardon me, that was not a dieback on the Lina. She now has the buyback ready, but it was a very stressful period, especially because, Avo, it's a fast Roche. He's back in 20.
Yep. I'm sorry, I can't take Shiba seriously this poor game. He's bonking everywhere. The poor guy is not, like, he's not even making mistakes. It's just he's fighting all the corners ever in this map, dude. He's found out this map is truly square. Anyway, so Liquid, they do lose Lina, but as I said, they have buyback. I don't think it's that big a deal. This Roshan, though, it's what matters the most. This might give Chicken Fighters the edge. And Liquid doesn't want to fight this. They can still defend this, even with the Aegis, but it becomes harder for them for obvious reasons. And yeah, it falls too fast. It falls too fast. If a Pango and a TA, it's impossible.
Charlie now with Ag, so he's got the cold-blooded. Yes, in its weakened state for sure, but guess what? Now that we're level 28, we're taking the talents anyway, so you might as well, right? So it's going to be pretty nice for him here. He didn't have to buy that Ags. With Refresher Shard, I believe then
He broke
is
the treaty,
Supreme?
though.
Oh,
He
he's
broke
got
the treaty.
Refresher. Okay.
Yeah, he's gonna get double stone gaze. I mean, I think I was considering this as the fourth Roshan. Actually, the Roshan is quite major. Getting the refresher here is pretty big. More than so than the Aegis, really. Double stone gaze and Liquid no longer can do these re-engagements in the fights. I don't know if Chicken Fighters are the best high ground push, but we're gonna see now in a second. At least they'll be able to not use the Lina's buyback.
They've got it. Look at how they're going through this tier 2 tower with back.
No, I don't mean as if they have push. I mean as if can they get close to the high ground, right? Like with the defense that Liquid has. Sorry, is what I meant to say.
I think so.
Drow is a hard hero to kill in the high ground.
True, but Pexu's got Ags now, so he can just burrow and be a disgusting, annoying bug on their cliffs, right? I mean, like, how do you initiate into this? It makes Boxy's life, it makes Taiga's life a lot more difficult now that you have to deal with this burrow, an AoE stun on Carapace, just these massive impales coming through.
Yeah, no, I take it back. That Lina kill was actually major because this led to the like it's just a domino effect here for Liquid. I was giving it a bit more credit towards this late game, but it does feel like Dusa now has started to really it just seems unkillable, even against a Drow. And I was expecting Drow to be able to deal with her nicely, but it's just there's so many things that Drow has to deal with right now. And just because you have a good core-to-core matchup doesn't mean you can kill the other 4 heroes. And the rest of Liquid is falling off a bit. Koikva needs to be able to be that utility that they need to secure the Drow's safety.
Yeah, that's kind of what I was referring to with the parabola of can we kill Dusa, right? Mid game, it's a yes, it's a yes, it's a yes. Now that we're getting into the late game, I kind of still hesitate. We can see Charlie obviously recognizing there's an AA, not bothering for the Satanic, even though the second Dispel would be really nice. The lifesteal aspect would be completely wasted, and therefore it's just unnecessary. It's just a lot easier right now to kill AA, considering he really only has a Force Staff and a Glimmer. So if Supreme can find him and apply the Nullifier, Insania just has no recourse. He's just dead, to be completely honest. So that makes his game very difficult to play. But Charlie, man, he is real strong. He's about to eat the Moon Shard, and then he's just about completely 6-slotted. 7 or 8 or 9, however many we have.
It doesn't seem to be useful right now. What is the utility of Ice Blast? Against Refraction does nothing, now with the extra charges. You don't do anything against Dusa either with the Ice Blast. Nyx, who cares? Snapfire, I guess? And Pango's somewhat annoyed by it, but he has Shield Crash. Like, it isn't the greatest AA game right now.
No, it's not. It's not, but I would say that's because Charlie is obviously a G, right? He's like, I'm not building Satanic. Like, the whole point of AA is, guess what, Dusa? You can't build Satanic. Now you can't just infinitely fight us, right?
It just doesn't matter as much for Dusa, though. That's what it is. Like, Dusa rather... Like, if she can, she'll either build the damage or the stats. Like, Satanic is an option sometimes, but it's not like it's a core item on... You don't see it every single game on Dusa, right? It's good, but it's not the be-all, end-all. So, if you're telling me, like, oh, Gyrocopter can't build Satanic, that's pretty major. Dusa? Okay. Itemize with intelligence instead. Eventually she'll get the 75 intelligence talent, and then good luck getting through that. I don't know, it's tough. I feel like Insania is going insane this game. He's not finding too much utility for his hero as a whole. Maybe when he hits level 25 with the AoE Cold Feet, he might have a small power spike
We're so
again.
far from that, though. I mean, I know it's late game, but like he's still 5 levels away.
Alright, the one chance Liquid does have here that's like a really solid chance to be able to come back and dominate the game again is Ballista. 2 minutes from now.
Yeah,
They can get Ballista. Yeah.
Who do you give it to, the Drow or the Lina?
I think Drow, just judging by the Lina's items. Like, Koikva has damage, but I think Koikva's also like a bit of a tank here, so I would rather give her some like Mirror Shield, actually. As you can see by the choice, she went for Paladin Sword, right? Like, it's clearly the Drow that's going to be your main damage source. And Ballista allows Drow to be uncatchable, essentially. You even push the... Like, you hit the Pango, you kill him immediately before he can even roll onto you. Rapier's huge, though. Thank you for pointing it out, Observer. Rapier's huge for Shark.
Yeah, I was about to say I wanted you to finish daydreaming about Ballista because that item's pretty crazy. Okay, yeah. Just Charlie's like, what do I want now? Oh, right, just more divines, please. He's consumed the Moon Shard, of course. He's got 3 permanent passives now, always running. So he is quite strong here, and of course holding on to the Flicker. What's the dream item then for the Dusa? Is it also going to be this Ballista? I assume.
Yeah, I mean, if you get Ballista, I think Dusa's a bit more useful because Dusa kills a whole team, right? Whereas Drow only kills a single person. And she has Rapier, so I think that helps too.
Yep.
I don't know, I mean, is Flicker good enough? No, I think you forego the Flicker if you get Ballista. Ballista or Apex. Otherwise, I think most items you still keep the Flicker, not gonna lie.
Okay, okay. You would be kind of crawling around the map here is the only issue. That's the
Yeah, but
problem.
it's like Cabal Stusa. You ask your teammates to buy you 4 staffs, and you 4 staff her fat
Okay,
body across the map, and it's fine. Boxy, he actually revealed, Shiba revealed himself because of the Stormcrafter there. So they knew that was that was a lucky draw by Liquid. They missed the Gust there. They want to deward first. That's good. And Charg's like, guys, I have Rapier. We fight.
All right, tier
Even with
5's up
Shard
in
and
5
Supreme
seconds.
as well. Okay, so they're all fighting around the Ancients now. This is the big objective because the Ancients provide these tier 5s. Quick, go! So they're in Crush. Okay, Supreme. But missed that hit on Boxy. And they actually have the Avatos. They're going to bring Supreme back. Supreme is a kill, possibly. Shibe trying to go for Mega. Mega has the BKB. And now Supreme is going to die. Shibe is in the same position. That's going to be 2 quick kills for Liquid. They protected the Ancients just like they wanted to. This game is not called Defense of the Ancients for nothing. Oh, they actually blocked the camp.
They blocked the camp, but guess what? That means the Ancients get to live. It means that they weren't immediately cleaned up, and that's a huge pick for Liquid as they're able to just pretty much uproot Chicken Fighters. Chicken Fighters, since 4th Roche, were just kind of sitting on the chest of Liquid here. You know, they weren't letting them breathe, really. They couldn't get out of their base. They were only getting whatever waves they could. And now Liquid are finally free to roam around the map and look for fights of their own. And they know there's buybacks here to be forced out from Chicken Fighters.
So you see my point about the high ground point. Like, if you have high ground, like you have the right positioning on Liquid, I feel like you're still stronger, right? That's why I thought the push by Chicken Fighters wasn't ideal. I was kind of feeling into the narratives like, okay, sure, Chicken Fighters, yeah, they just won the Roshan. This is the way to come back, but the Drow's still a bit too strong. And this shows by Liquid's confidence. They're not even going for the tier 5s. They're just going to go straight for the racks. Better use of the time, I would say, at least a tier 3, and then go back to the jungle, yeah, retreat, and now farm the camps as much as possible. Oh, make it. Oh, no.
They wanted more buybacks. They wanted more buybacks there. Okay, there's Giant's Ring. It's the first one.
For Lina. It's okay for Slardar, I'd say, maybe this game. It's not the biggest thing, honestly. Giant's Ring, it's okay. There we go.
Yeah, they need something. I mean, all 3 waves are pushing in. Oh, it's a big old stack of Ancients. Yeah, Mick, I was about to say, there's no way you could resist farming that stack of Ancients. Book of the Dead, welcome back Necro books. And there's going to be Book of the Shadows, so lots of books here for Liquid to read.
Honestly, the books are not that great. I would say they're the weakest tier 5 items, and not just because I'm illiterate. It's a bit tough. I don't know. Those weren't the items you were looking for. Book of the Dead might be useful in the beginning, but if this game goes a bit longer, you much rather have Apex or Ballista or even Mirror Shield. Well, there they go.
Book of Shadows is pretty legit, I would say. It's a really hard counter to... Actually, wait, can you dispel Book of Shadows? Because if you can, then never mind. It's nullifier, and you just lose.
Well, it applies a basic dispel when you use it, so it gets rid of that null. And you can't hit him, so it technically can't. I'm not really sure how it would work, the interaction, to be honest, but you technically can't, so. Pretty good for the Tiny, I agree. Book of Shadows might be pretty useful. Book of the Dead is like, okay, and Mirror Shield is pretty... I mean, what does Mirror Shield do this game,
Ex Machina? Ex Machina drop for Chicken Fighter?
That's pretty great. The extra armor is actually a huge part of this item now. Against the Drow? Nyx with still the Philosopher's Stone. Oh, Taiga has a Book of Shadows this time. Nullifier. And he's not going to get to use anything.
No, he is not.
So, oh no, he didn't have the Book of Shadows. Sorry, they gave it to Insania.
Yep. All right, so the pick off there onto the Tiny, but Chicken Fighters are going to have to go back and defend against the super creeps pushing in through the top lane. I don't even remember when we took those creeps. That was like half an hour ago already, it feels like. Divine Rapier number 2 being queued up by Supreme. That's what he's going for. Our Lina now pretty heavy into damage now with Satanic. Oh, she found a Mirror Shield here for the Lina. That's pretty clutch. It's kind of exactly what you were looking for here on our Lina. Seer Stone then drops for the Chicken Fighters. It's not a bad item here, I'd say, for the Nyx Assassin if he ever wants to get rid of this Philosopher's Stone.
I mean, you get rid of it in the middle of the fight, right, for full efficiency. Oh my goodness. Flicker, then Ballista. I mean...
Oh, she got Ballista, did she?
Yes.
Oh, yeah, they got... Oh, man.
I guess this is like payment for what happened to Shiba earlier, and the map's like giving back, you know? What the map gives the map...
for Pango? Oh, my goodness.
Oh, my goodness. Oh, wow. Yeah, these look like better items, honestly.
Yeah.
Yeah, so what
Alrighty,
about the
well,
books being kind of good, blah, blah, blah. Now you get the Ballista and the Meteor, or the Fallen Sky.
listen, they got 2 books. That means they've got 20/20 now. You know, it's not bad. They have a couple. It increases their DPS. No, I mean, yeah, I'd much rather have a Fallen Sky than 2 of the books, to be honest. Like, if you could trade them in, that'd be nice. Maybe there's gonna be some recycling or recrafting system. Who knows? Either way, it's time for Roche to get recycled again. Roche on number 5.
That'd be good, actually. I like that idea. Next patch, Dota goes green, and you can recycle neutrals. They even have Seer Stone, which is actually really, really good.
Seer Stone active. It's basically Terran Scan, if you're unaware of what it is.
Yep.
Oh,
And also the cast range increase is huge. Okay, I hear Stone Cases for Starlink.
Yeah, they're just to secure Roche.
Yep, they take everything. Supreme even gets an Axe, which is pretty solid, actually, for TA. Now you can go around the whole map. I mean, to be fair, there was this one game in the Major where Liquid was playing against Na'Vi, and I'll never forget this. And they won in a big part because they got Morphling Apex on that game, all right? They did well, and they held out well, but that was a big reason why they managed to come back into this game. So it might just be that Liquid, like, they were... the map was saving this for Liquid, and this is the game where they don't get the lucky neutrals, and it's going to be Chicken Fighters receiving that instead. I still think it's difficult for Chicken Fighters, but with double Rapiers, it's definitely possible.
It's possible. Okay, so this is just the backup rapier for Dusa. It's going to sit on the courier. This courier now with plus 350 damage. Don't worry about it. But he just needs all of these items. I think at this stage, it's not more rapiers is not more wins for him. It's going to be all about still having items to be able to move around in these fights. But we're getting here. We're getting pretty towards the end game of Dota 2, and for now. We're at this kind of awkward impasse where Chicken Fighters, they don't really want to push up towards high ground, and Liquid, while this Aegis is up, they don't want to go looking for fights.
People were asking to nerf Arc Warden because, he makes games too long. Teams make games too long.
Where you guys
has
at
nothing
now,
to do with the heroes. Yeah, exactly. All long games, even the ones that Arc Warden have something in common. They have 10 players, right? That's what making games long. Has nothing to do with the heroes you're picking. It's really just the players. And here we got to the point where I think it's absurd, and I want to point this out, that the Dusa is still holding on to Spider Leg despite them having tier 4s. Like, come on.
She is still holding on to Spider Legs.
If there's ever a sign you needed that there's an item that might be a bit too strong in the tier 3s. Oh no! She wishes he wasn't. The Spider Legs didn't do anything to save her there. They even took her rapier. Dusa, they're gonna go for Pexu. Pexu coming back in. They don't buy back on Dusa, so it seems like they want to fight back here. But Liquid is retreating. Insania might not be so lucky. Use the Book of Shadows to retreat. Supreme can't hit him, but they kill him with a Fallen Sky. Beep beep, says the Pango, as Taiga is gonna be stopped. He doesn't TP thanks to that Scatter Blast. That's gonna be a win for... I'm not really sure, actually, because that kill on the Dusa was insane. I still think that's good for Liquid, but good counter.
It is good for Liquid. Free Divine Rapier is always very, very nice to have, especially when you've got plus 12 marksman. I mean, this is just huge. And speaking of huge, I've neglected to mention how large Boxy is. This is like... You ever see those pictures on Twitter where people this guy caught a world record fish, and they hold up a fish that's bigger than the boat? Yeah, we're gonna need a bigger boat here for Boxy. He's quite large and in charge here. 20 armor, 5k HP. Yeah, he's just jumping in regardless or not if he thinks he can kill you or not, just because he can live through it.
Yeah, Giant Ring makes it so that Boxy, the whole world is water for him now. It doesn't. And I mean, I was thinking more of the before and after pictures where you see a picture of Boxy level 1 and then a picture of Boxy level 25. It's like, look at my training regimen. By buying a simple Giant's Ring, I managed to increase my body mass by a whole 200%.
Of course, yeah, it's a mobile game ad where you have Slark at level 1 Crook, and then it's level 30 boss is Boxy.
Yeah, idle Dota heroes, farm neutral items, get this fat. You don't even need to be good at
That's
the game.
just called NA pubs. What do you mean?
All right, that's true. All right. Let's see, Chicken Fighters. At this point, I do wonder what the comms are like. Like Chicken Fighters, guys, what do we do? Can we look at Charlie's farm for a second?
What Charlie's
farm? He's okay. Charlie's not that big a deal. I would say Mickey is the big one, where he has I think 10k in the bank and doesn't know what to do with that gold.
Oh, like current golds.
Yeah. Look at this. Yeah, not the net worth. I mean, what do you do? He's like, what do I invest this in?
Yeah.
Mickey's looking into cryptocurrency options right now. It's like maybe.
Hello, please buy my Mortimer coin.
Yeah, exactly. He bought a Hurricane Pike now because I think it's a pretty good item, much better than Manta style, because you need that mobility. Now everyone on Liquid, I think, has 4 staffs.
Actually, I think you're right.
Oh, sorry, no, he bought the Manta style over the Hurricane Pike. That's what I mean. Because Naya does
Okay.
a spell, so you can use the dispel in the middle of the fight. Ideally, I think that's the idea. Because that way you can get rid of the nullifier.
All right, well, Aegis is reclaimed in 30 seconds here for Supreme. You got a DD rune, you have a Divine Rapier, and a Ballista.
Who cares about the
For now, though, Chicken Fight, I mean, they're just hitting. They're like, are there tier 6s, guys? Or 69 minutes, the tier 6s spawn in? Or, I mean, for right now, Chicken Fighters, they're not really too aggressive, and I understand. You just bought back on the Deuce, so you're at a scary moment, but Aegis is about to be reclaimed, and then I'm not sure what stops Liquid from going in.
Yeah, I mean, I guess they can go on. I mean, I think that the items do stop you to a degree, because you want to hold the high ground, right? If you go in and you play haphazardly, the Pango can totally cancel you, right? At this point, I feel like Shiba has enough to be able to last a Rolling Thunder, catch the Drow, and then you just jump on her with a Rapier. I mean, I think that's the strategy by Charlie. He even has an Aeon Disc, thank you. Because at late game, everyone has to have the Aeon Disc. It's like a necessity these days, so you don't get bursted immediately.
Yeah, and
this allows Charlie to jump. Yeah, this allows Charlie to jump on the Drow, which is what he's looking for anyway. And ideally, killer. I mean, it gives you more liberty to go and do these plays where your ranged heroes become melee temporarily just because you need to get close to the Drow and someone needs to hug her.
Yeah, Andis can be a bit of a concern, though, because at this stage, when the fights are so explosive and it's these Dota late-game team fights that we all know and love, where we watch the fight and then it ends in 3 seconds and we go, what the heck just happened? Andis is a problem, right, because you don't do any damage during that buff duration. And Dusa, she'll be hitting that and debuffing people with Eye of Scotty at least, but the damage output from her is going to be 0. So we'll see here if Liquid are going to be able to do something through that.
But it's all about stopping the marksmanship, right? So if you ideally kill Taiga in the beginning thanks to the nullifier, and then you go and jump on the Drow, then you have nothing to save her with, right? So that's what I'm thinking. I mean, I guess you need a second nullifier. Maybe Chicken fights to consider nullifiers on more heroes, genuinely. That might just be the highest value item right now to cancel this 4-stas. Oh my goodness. Oh, right, I see that Ballista on TA now. I forgot about the Sideblades thing.
Yep. Yeah, that's why Boxy was getting pushed in his TP or Taiga when he was TPing away.
No,
yeah,
I knew he had Ballista, but I forgot about that adding to the Sideblade's range as well.
Oh, true.
So now, yeah.
Oh my
so
goodness,
now
yeah. She still has Hurricane Pike and the talent. I mean, what is this Sideblade? What is she gonna? Oh, okay. Well, she wasn't lined up, I think. Otherwise, the entire wave would have been one shot. So, see, and that's why you don't march in formation column, guys.
I'm kind of curious how far these Sideblades reach. Genuinely, I want to see in the fight. Like maybe AA dies. He doesn't even know what's hitting him, and it's just gonna be the Ballista Sideblades.
Maybe, I'll go check it in lobby, and then by the time I come back, maybe we'll be fighting. Who knows? Liquid are...
I mean, we certainly have time. Don't worry about it.
Okay, another smoke. See if Liquid are going to sweep across the map. Once again, top lane constantly shoving in.
I hear if this game goes long enough, Black suddenly appears to start casting with us, so maybe we can reach that point.
Yeah, that's right.
Black
and BCOP, they join. The streams get crossed. Because all the Chinese games, I think they had a 102-minute game yesterday. I don't think we're quite on pace for that, but if there's a game to happen, if there's a game to beat it, it very well could be this one.
Liquid was offended by that. It's like, what do you mean the longest games are in China? Because Liquid is definitely the game of the a team of extremes, right? They either go for like these really fast games, or sometimes they'll just struggle to finish the game, but they will never quite lose it, right? That's what's sort of impressive about it. A lot of teams are early game oriented. As soon as it goes to the late game, they start like faltering and they don't know what to do and they just lose. But Liquid just holds on endlessly until they just win by a war of attrition.
Roshan, number 6. About to respawn here. It's going to be a 1-minute Rosh. I believe that's Roshan number 6. It might be 6 or 7, to be honest. I think it is 6, though. 7 would be a bit ridiculous, I think, actually, even in 73 minutes now. So,
my bad, by the way. Nullifier cannot be dispelled. That's my bad. I was working with the... I don't know. I was working with that impression, actually.
Okay.
So then I guess it does take out the Shadow Realm. Or the...
See, and that's what I think Bloodthorn should do, right? I think Bloodthorn should not be dispelled. By the way, a moment of silence for our position 5 support, Insania, who's still only level 23, 73 minutes into the game. Don't worry, he's gonna eat this next book, and he'll be as smart as a cookie. But until then, he is not going to have this 500 cold feet AoE talent. Any other really big level 30 talents you think are noteworthy here?
I don't know. Anything. I guess a Slardar some more with the axe as he becomes a tertiary carry.
Okay.
Can't think of anything else. Maybe Shiba. Actually, Shiba might be a point where he actually just rotates into becoming a true carry, right? You can do that. That's an
Sure.
idea.
Okay, I like the sound of that. Ira now he's got these kisses, so he's really. It's like when you go over to your grandma's house, you know. That's what this is like if fighting against this.
Oh right,
so much damage.
the slow is the dispellable. Oh, okay, okay, that's why.
Yeah, the
You
slow
can
is,
dispel
but
the
not
mini slows, but not the actual dispel. Okay, that makes sense. That makes sense. Yeah, that's where the confusing came from. Except for BKB.
Okay, Roshan is up, out of the pit. Roshan clocking in at 14,510 HP. He's punching for close to 500 base damage with 50 base armor. How long will it take these heroes to kill him? Probably like 3 seconds.
Yeah, genuinely.
Yeah.
How valuable? I mean, yeah. I guess this is the call for Liquid, right? This if. Oh, smoke? No, they tried to do an alliance play there for a second, but I guess
They
not.
got it.
They
just
got it.
went
They
in
got
too
it. They can't
fast.
defend this. Yeah. I don't think there's a chance for you to defend it anymore. And now it's just up to Liquid to go and push, really? But I mean, Liquid's like, pushing is nice, but what if we just farm for 20 more minutes? Maybe we get
Ice
level
Frog.
30 on Slardar.
Ice Frog watching this game going, guys, what do I need to put in the game for you guys to end it? This is tier 6 neutral items. It's going to be, they're going to put the Rift Herald in the game. Where once you do a Roshan, he joins your team and he charges at the enemy Ancients. Maybe that's what we need.
There's not even a hero here that I would say elongates the game a bunch. Like, you're not playing against Techies, Arc Warden, or even Protector.
A Treant, a Lich. Who else is really
Coddle.
doing it? Yeah. No, I mean,
Yeah.
it's the patience, right? I mean, and let's acknowledge what's
guess
at stake
Drow.
here, right? $40 million. Neither team wanting to take a chance at that. At losing out on that, rather.
Yep. The Swift Blink now coming in for the Slardar. He is really becoming the carry. The more attack speed you give him, eventually.
He might be able to permabash someone here, especially after the Swift Blink active. Like, he might just be able to 100 to
Seer
0.
Storm
I don't
just
know
solid.
about the Dusa, but someone else.
Yeah. I mean,
Look at all these luxury
the
on
problem
Tigers.
is, of
Like,
course-
this game's great, man. It's like playing in demo mode. I got an Octarine Cord, a BKB. He's going to go for
Insania.
POTs next.
look at this dude. Insania is actually going to reach his level 25.
gonna
I've
get
never... Look, he's going to get it. He's going to find a second bout of utility with that AoE Cold Feet.
It's pretty big. It's honestly pretty big. Like, this makes him so much more annoying in the fights. I think for now, Chicken Fighters have been
Yeah,
kind
I
of
agree.
able to ignore the AA. Like, but now it's like, dude, all these cold feet AoE procs are going to be super annoying. It's going to be great at
Yep.
getting through refraction procs. You know, Dusa, a hero that normally likes to stand still in fights. That's why you draft her usually into Enigmas. You draft her into Faceless Voids because you're like, I don't care. I'll stand still and just kill you after. And that's
Yeah, but
something
cold feet's
that AA is
annoying.
going to be very strong against.
I'm wondering, does Dusa have a... Assuming she does, right? Oh, yeah. She does have a 7-second BKB
Alright,
still.
here go
Actually, pretty
Liquid.
decent. 7 seconds still.
Last time Liquid went up to the high ground was about 35 minutes ago. Boxy's just going to sneak on up. Doesn't need to take the stairs. Supreme, okay, going to try and punish him. Actually gets a bash here from the Melt Strike, but now Supreme could be in some trouble. My goodness, getting through the reflection, but Charlie,
Ball
as well as
Sky.
Shivit, back on down to the low ground. They turn Mickey to stone. Peksu is going to try and pump in some damage here along with the Dusa as the kisses begin raining down. Taiga unable to get up to the high ground, as Supreme will be able to finish him off. They also managed to catch Koikva there. And I think now it's going to be 2 more weeks until Liquid go back to its high ground. So they just saw their own shadow as down goes Insania.
All right, that was... I say the Rapier is pretty major, but I feel like you could just buy another one, right? It doesn't seem that big a deal at this point, losing the Rapier. I know that has double... Maybe you just fill your whole... Is there a point to just leave Hurricane Pike out? To just go Swift Blink, BKB, Nullifier, Rapier, and then that's how you win the game? You fill your whole inventory with Rapiers?
How many do we have right now in the fields? It's 2 on Supreme,
There's 2 on,
1 on the Dusa,
2 on Supreme,
and 1 on the
Dusa,
Drow.
1 on
4.
Drow.
By the way, real quick, just shout-outs to Pop-Tart observing, I believe later on
Yep.
today, he tweeted at me saying that Dusa indeed, remember about an hour ago when someone denied the Ag's blessing? Yeah, that was Charlie. He denied it before leaving the Roshan pit.
Oh, okay.
Thank you to Pop-Tart for that information.
Shout out to Pop-Tart in general for existing. I think this guy is great. So thank you for being a person, Pop-Tart.
And of course, shout-outs to our current OBS, Yosin.
Yeah.
Through 80
Okay, don't
minutes
get
of
jealous, Yosin,
games,
I'm sorry.
you know, just
I'm
having to
sorry,
listen to us
Yosin.
talk about items and neutrals and whatever else we could fill with here in between the lulls.
You're a very hardworking observer, Yosin. He's out to 9.0 now, so imagine, like, he's only getting better and better the more the longer the game goes.
Yeah, he keeps getting patched between events. It's great. It is
He does
great.
not
Okay.
seem very happy about this long game, though.
Well, it's
right, well.
an unfortunate push for Liquid. I think that they still have 40 seconds left of this Aegis, and no buybacks were forced out. So not too bad, all things considered.
You know, the biggest thing right now, genuinely, besides items or whatever we can possibly talk about, the neutrals' experiences, is really who holds the high ground. Like, whoever holds the high ground has better positioning here is going to win in these fights. That's why it's making it so difficult for them to push ever. Because whenever you push, you lose that advantage no matter what, right? So you have to get pickoffs before you can push. And we've seen Liquid just falter because they just don't have that high ground. Whenever they push from low ground, it's just so difficult for them. Yeah, Fallen Sky is a great thing, but Fallen Sky is only useful because you actually get to jump with the extra vision you have from being in the high ground. So that's really the name of the game here. That's why both teams are playing so defensively.
Real quick, by the way, pretty big pickup for Supreme. My goodness, he was zooming with the Swift Blink active. He's got now the Ag's Blessing, or the Psionic Trap shards, which allows him to TP all around the map. So now the Rat play is not really too viable here because he can just have a trap back in the fountain, which he doesn't yet, surprisingly. I think he should, in case he just needs to get out, because it's a 1.5-second channel TP. And, like, you're just gone. It's so hard. That's a great way to recover your rapiers, or at least make sure you don't have to maybe buy back. So I think that's a bit shocking to me.
Recover your rapiers.
You know.
With 17k gold in the back for TA. There's going to come a point where Boxy considers the rapier, you know? We're getting to that stage.
Oh, wait. Hold on. Everyone, please put your hands together for Insania, position 5. He's now taken the level 25 talent of Cold Feet AoE. I think he needed the minute 80 tome to get him up to level 25. That's the life of an AA.
Pretty big deal. I'm assuming, because I think Peksu had it for a while, the level 25. I think he's level 26 now, right?
Yes.
Not that Nix's level 25s was that impressive either, by the way.
So this is a lot like, you know, back in the
the
age
net worth chart.
Yeah, this is back like in the age of like the Roman Empire Republic when Caesar would go conquest. Oh, hold on.
And when Caesar go conquer and there'd be a giant fish jumping at him, it was so scary those times. There's the Fallen Sky used. Actually, the melt hit bash, hitting Boxy, the Ice Blast as well, and Liquid immediately retreating. This was not the fight they wanted to take. Chicken Fire just a bit too fast. And Boxy, he has TP.
He's just into the trees.
Can he get away? Thanks to the giant swing, but hey, Shimmy can do the same thing. He's going to destroy all the trees so Boxy can't get away. The sprint, they hit him with a trap. Is Shimmy fast enough? Boxy. Giant swing, best item you can get right now.
So there we see, once again, nothing real happening as no one dies. Couple BKBs get popped, but they're all 6-second BKBs anyway. Basically, what would happen a lot of times is Caesar would just show up. They would build forts on top of each other's hills, and then they would just sit there. Except in that state, they would try and poison each other's water sources, and eventually someone would survive. Unfortunately, there's no such mechanic. Maybe after like minute 80, everyone on the map gets like permanent battle hunger, and you just need to go. Like I mean, because right now it's what Roshan number 7 in this game is about to respawn maybe in 30 seconds.
Yeah, but that would take away the look at the tactical plays made by Liquid. Like, would you understand? They're farming their jungle right now, their camps, because they understand that if they take these camps away from potential chicken fires, when they go and rotate the jungles again, they won't have them. What an increase in gold! How could you take away these incredibly minute, detailed, so well thought out plays of an 80-minute game?
What it's really about is at this stage where Liquid are afraid, and so are chicken fighters. They're all afraid that after sitting and just being killed for 82 minutes straight, the neutrals might gain some semblance of self-determination and start rising up and actually trying to end the game themselves. As Peksu, okay,
they actually cut Nix.
Seer Stone, a little bit. He's back down to the low ground thanks to the Vendetta, unobstructed pathing. Ex Machina active for the second 4-staff away, and once again, there's going to be no opening, but Roshan now alive yet again, plus 500 damage here. So he's clocking in with a couple of rapiers. Not like that'll help him.
I wanted to say that this does become a point in the game where some things outside the game start mattering. Not only your ability to keep the patience to actually keep playing this game and keep in control of the game. Your bladder control is very important right now. It's 80 minutes, you know, that's a long time. So there's a lot of things that are coming into play here that have nothing to do with Dota whatsoever. As the Dota becomes minimized, because let's be honest, like they're just farming camps to have something to do. It's not actually the need to farm. Look at TA; she's collecting rapiers. Like Supreme, I think has 3, actually 4 technically. One disassembled.
He's got 4 rapiers. Yeah, it's kind of
5 actually 5.
Wait, Supreme
2 disassembled rapiers.
Oh, he just
Yeah,
got
2
another one.
disassembled rapiers and three normal ones. Oh my goodness.
Oh god. At this stage, I think even the carry players are like, okay, guys, I think I've had enough. I don't want to hit creeps anymore, please.
Yeah. This is the way you teach your carry to be more active. But there's a smoke.
Yeah.
Chicken fighters are done. That's why they're called chicken fighters. They're gonna go up to the high gun. This might be the fight that we're looking for this whole time. What an impale!
What?
But is that gonna be a follow-up? Yeah,
Nick
they
is
got to
dead.
make it. Nick is dead. They did it. Tiger's also going to fall. Charlie. He actually broke the lull of this game. They fought against Liquid. They take down 3, 2 of which have buyback though. But this
Insane
is gonna
is there a
secure
sniper
Roshan.
in this game? Supreme killed him from the outpost all the way to where that gem is standing as a Templar assassin. TA with the lowest base attack range in the entire game.
Yeah, but now she has Ballista, Side Blades, and the Hurricane Bike. Look at this.
Oh.
She's hitting the creeps from the Roshan spot. My goodness, Supreme. Oh, chicken fighters. They're done. They have the lesser bladder control. They want to finish this game immediately. They don't even need these items. Oh,
Oh,
actually,
Liquid?
Axe for Pango. No, pretty big deal.
Liquid are going through bottom. What are they doing here? Quick on
The
Boxy.
Rat Dota play?
Looking for a sneaky play. Smoked up. There is going to be a Snapfire coming out here to push the waves. This should be a pretty easy kill, as Era might not be expecting. Oh, he turns around for the little shredder, and it turns out he is the one to be shredded, as Boxy will tear right through him. That's pretty huge here. That might save the buybacks out from Liquid, which means more Dota. This is like extra innings in baseball, guys. It's more free Dota, too.
It's not no longer baseball. This is a tennis match at this point. This is... Oof. Chicken
It's
fighters,
a cricket
they're
test
gonna go
match.
Yeah, exactly, yeah. Charlie trying to push out these tier 3s and hopefully force out the buyback. That's the real goal here, as Supreme can just stand far away. Oh, I mean, Boxy is keeping this somewhat alive. Boxy is the king of base defense. We do remember that Virtus Pro game where Boxy and Taiga pretty much solved the game for them. But Boxy alone cannot beat this incredible Chicken Fighter squad of ranged heroes and a Pango. And a Nick, sorry.
So many
go.
rapiers right now. All right, there they go. They're going to back up. I mean, side lanes are pushing in because we have, both melee barracks, or we've got melee barracks top. Well, all the barracks top and range barracks top. So still, even down bottom, now that there are 3, how many times have these waves been upgraded? My goodness. This melee creep basically could 1v1 an Ancient's Apparition at level 1 and still probably beat him. Like, these creeps are so strong right now. And that's a bit of an issue, right? Because when they're upgraded, they get even stronger. And since they've been upgraded, creeps upgrade every 7.5 minutes, which means they've upgraded like 10 or 11 times by now, or maybe more. That means that the waves push super hard if you don't have barracks. So the fact that we're able to at least equalize pressure in the mid lane means that Liquid are going to have to be taking care of waves now a little bit themselves.
This is the perfect time for... Oh no, that's the Viking GG line, never mind. Oh yeah, it looks lost, but I think we could still do this. That's the Liquid line, right? I think this is the perfect moment for that. They are struggling in these fights, particularly because Shiva is doing such a great job of these initiations, honestly. Like, Taiga was the king of initiations in this mid-game, but now we're seeing Shiva really carry his team hard here. And they're all able to jump on the drow. And one of the advantages, actually, that Chicken Fighters has, 2 advantages, particularly in this ultra late game. Not usually analysis you get to make, but they have a global presence with the TA, and actually to some degree the Pango, who has great mobility. So those 2 heroes, plus of course the Butcher Travel at this point everyone has, really help out pushing out these lanes and making sure the creeps are not as impactful, first of all. And second of all, your team fights, even if the team fight, like the actual spells are more or less similar, the fact that you just need to get on top of the drow, your execution for team fights is quite
Hexu?
easy in a very
Same play
chaotic
as
late
before?
game.
Okay.
It's Boxy, it's fine.
Yeah,
So-
I don't think Liquid want to take that fight anymore like that. They're gonna have to fight around this ward, but that one's just expired. So yeah, I don't think they want to fight here whatsoever. Charlie's gonna nab this outpost, and the rest of Liquid are going to leave. BOT's bottom is going to be Boxy, as he wants to push this wave right back out. But it looks like Chicken Fighters prepared to finally go up to the high ground as they look to push a second lane of barracks.
Yeah. So at this point, that's what I'm saying, right? The Chicken Fighters actually has an easier execution, which, when it comes to this point in the game, it matters a lot because team fights become incredibly chaotic, and even the most veteran pros will make mistakes just because there's too many things to do. And that's when I need to get on top of the drow. That single target mindset becomes a huge advantage for you. Whereas in the mid game, pro teams usually can make up for that. This is harder. Liquid has to do a lot more in these team fights to be able to, like, it's not just I protect drow. There's much more to it, especially with nullifiers not allowing you to do that.
Yep.
So now it's pick-off game for them, I think. That's their best asset, actually, with Lina and Tiny, so yeah.
Whoa,
bad
hold
choice.
on. Supreme is down bottom. Okay, might go
Whoa.
hunting for Koikva. Koikva might go hunting for him. Koikva, by the way, he's like, oh, everyone's picking up Divine Rapiers. I don't mind if I do. So now this Lina,
He's had him for a
if
while.
she didn't have damage before, definitely has damage.
No, he's had one for a while. He's had one for
Okay.
a bit. Quick. Yeah. He just keeps it at 1, though. He's not like the TA, who at this point is literally littering with these rapiers. Look at that. She's keeping the 5 rapiers. She's now thinking of going for Refresher, but why?
So much gold.
Yep.
So much gold.
I love it because at this point, I bet the support's like, "Hi, can I have like
hold
a
on,
no?
Supreme?
What is it? I'm only
going
at
for Supreme.
14k."
They're going to go for Supreme down bottom. Oh, they thought about it. Boxy canceled the TP instead, though. He didn't want to go for it.
Supreme's the best target because he's the one with the global presence. If you go on anyone else, he can just appear with a trap, right?
Yep.
So Supreme's the best target. But now we have Butcher Travel level 2 and a couple of heroes, I imagine. And it's not even he's an easy target to pick up.
Okay, Aegis is about to be reclaimed. We'll see what Chicken Fighters, if they react to this. I think they will. And perhaps they're going to back up. There it goes. All right, Hurricane Pike into the inventory. More attack range, please. Thank you very much. Another Rapier. I'll take that. Okay, Pexer, though, he snuck behind the base. Chicken Fighters, they're going for a little bit of wraparound, but they've been scouted out here. The blink back. Oh, no, that's a 2-for-1 special, but Shibei's in with the Fallen Sky. He's going to stun up, too, and that means Boxy's going to be perma-stunned to death. Taiga, his BKB duration is running out, and Charlie is actually blinking on forward, preventing anyone from supporting him. Means that Chicken Fighters have blown through Liquid early on, but that's only stage 1 because out come the buybacks. The Hex Machina to get Pexu back as they just continue to force staff him around. There's going to be another one. The Cookie to put him out of position. He's going to get another stun out, but down he will go. He's the 1-for-2 trade. Liquid now, they're looking for more as on the chase they go.
Okay. So Liquid, they defend this, but obviously they cost 2 buybacks though, so they need to get a kill out of this. Boxy is the one leading the charge right now. Boxy decided to go for Bloodthorn finally. It takes 90 minutes of game for a hero to decide and consider the Bloodthorn as an item.
Yep.
Pretty good on Slaughter though.
And
to
what
be fair.
did we do there, by the way? What got accomplished in that fight? 2 buybacks, right?
Buybacks.
1 out of Boxy,
Yeah.
1 out of Taiga, and what is this? 275 damage to the tier 3 tower.
102 minutes, man. This is the goal for Liquid. They're just waiting it out. Both teams, like Chicken Fighters and Liquid, they have a master plan, but they have to wait for the 102-minute game. They sell the Knoxville stats, and they want Knoxville to tweet about them too. That's the true honor of most Dota teams. Yeah, honestly, if Knoxville tweets about you, you've done something great or something really bad. So you know.
Yeah, it depends. It's noteworthy either way, right? Noteworthy.
Yeah.
All right. Well, let's take a look.
What are those
Anyone else
illusions?
joining the level 30 club right now? It's just
The animation for TA is not meant to last this long. What are those projectiles, man? It's just not correct. It's broken. Just 27k gold. What is this? Why?
she still has a bottle. I love.
Full
This is a
efficiency.
community
She keeps it
bottle.
in base though. Oh, this is like the talk about the Roman times. This is like the Roman baths, right? You just
Yeah,
get the
exactly.
bottle, you wash yourself a bit.
I feel like this is the kind of game, if you could still buy couriers, where both teams would just have like a ring around the rosy
The
of
Dagon
the couriers
couriers?
around their fountain. You know.
Oh,
Back
I
when
was
we would
I was
do that.
thinking of a time where the couriers could use the Dagons, and you'd just have these
Oh,
bombing
no.
squads of Dagon
Oh, that was so
couriers,
cursed. No way.
right? Yeah. At this point, isn't it useful to play like the old Dota where you have the courier next to you and he gives you items in the middle of the fight? Like, is that even a thing? Can you do that anymore? I
Although,
know you can physically, but like, is it something they consider?
That's only a strat, you know, past 112 minutes, because by that stage you
okay.
will genuinely be 12 slotted, right? And I mean, we might even get to see the very rare, because remember, guys, couriers have backpacks too. So what? You have 6, 12 plus another 6. You have 18 total slots to play with, plus 2 neutrals, which of course couriers can also carry. So we're gonna get to see the very rare 20 slotted TA swapping out Divine Rape. Well, you can't swap for rapiers and fight,
Look,
but you know, getting the refresher in.
You know. Well, you can do it though. You can from the courier. That's the point.
I think as soon as like the courier gives it to you, you can't give it back though. As soon as it's in your inventory, it's locked in there, right?
Right. But here's the strat, right? You get a TA, right, and you only have Ballista and Hurricane Pike plus Nullifier. Sorry, you only have Ballista and Hurricane Pike in the inventory, and then you throw your hits with your insane range. Before they hit, you give her all the rapiers, like from the courier, straight, like 5 rapiers, and then all of a sudden it's like, wow, I never expected this much amount of damage, and that's
Ooh,
how you
yeah.
win the game. There you
You're
go.
right. You're right. This game, by the way, has turned into who's gonna blink first, into who falls asleep first. I'm pretty sure. It's like, I mean, and I mean that in like a real way, where it's eventually someone's going to be caught snoozing here. Like, it's going to happen. There's only so much serious Dota you could play, and perhaps this is it. Boxy, normally he's the one getting the jumps, but this time he is going to be the jump B, as there's not enough damage onto him thanks to the and is getting procs. Charlie, though, looking for more targets as Pexu can't even catch up to him. Lina as well is able to evade. Oh, no, she's not. She's not able to evade. That was the Drow Ranger.
They caught her in the trees. Koikva was not expecting Shiva to just jump on her, but there we go. That's a rapier on the... They don't even need it. They're just going to leave the rapier on the floor.
Leave it there, honestly.
Honestly, yeah. And now at least you force this buyback, right? Lina buyback is actually kind of major.
First, though, Roshan number
Yosef.
8. This is like...
I'm glad you're keeping track, because I am not.
I think it's actually 7, I believe. Hold on, our overlay says... Oh, it is 8. Holy moly. Okay. Oh, my goodness.
Oh, okay. Thank God for this overlay. All right, so now you take the Roshan.
We need, like, Mambo number 9 here, eventually, for all these Roshans that have been taken down.
Era got the Ags. That's the last Ags, right? I don't think you have any more Ags.
Now it's just more money, dude. It's more money for more rapiers.
Oh, you sell the... Yeah, you sell the Ags for more rapiers. That's true recycling.
Okay,
right.
I mean, let's talk about this. Snapfire Ags. It's still really good.
Buy the refresher. It's bothering me at this point that you have the refresher in the quick buy. Like, you just keep it in your base or something, or give it to your courier. You have 35k. What is this quick buy even for? In case you have to replenish, I guess, like the 3 rapiers in a go. Maybe that's the idea.
This game is such it's going to be such a statistical aberration. An 80k net worth lead right now for Chicken Fighters. My goodness.
Which does not matter, honestly.
No, it doesn't. It really doesn't. That's the thing. It's all fake, man.
I love currency's fake. It's all pieces of paper. In this case, it's all yellow coins, I guess.
Not even the.
I've never
actually
considered
this. This would make for a good raunchy piece, wouldn't it? Where it's the shopkeeper 30 minutes in, where you start off and you don't even have money for a TP scroll, right? And then 95 minutes later, you just buy 6 divine rapiers at once.
Yeah, everyone's hanging out like it's like it's inflation Germany, like post World War. Just carts of money just going to the shopkeeper. And even then, I mean, they don't get heavier. Only Slaughter got heavier this game, which is good. He's the only one that can physically keep the gold inside him. Anyone else, I don't understand.
He was somehow tankier 30 minutes ago. He's lost 300 HP. Not that big of a deal, of course, but like...
The change in his items. The change in his items. Oh, Mickey. Okay. Oh, the Fallen Sky. That's pretty big for Mickey. They use the Stone Graze as well, and the Mortimers gets raining down. Some hit. Mickey actually has to force himself to safety. Uses the BKB as well to save himself from being nullified, but he's been turned to stone. Mickey, you need to run away. He's not dealing any more damage. They actually even have an Abyssal Blade on the Pango just to stop him. Mickey trying to go back to base to hit the Ice Blast just to retreat, and it does seem like Chicken Fighters will not get what they're looking for. In fact, they might even lose Supreme here to the Lina. He does die. They have the Light Strike Array, but Supreme should be able to get away here. There we go, the blink immediately. Rolling Thunder yet again from Shibe. Another random Mortimer's Kisses, and this time Taiga's the objective. Taiga is still alive. Taiga's gonna live. In fact, the counter initiation of Mickey, he's dealing too much damage. He's bursting Charlie down. They're taking down Supreme as well. There's so many rapiers on the floor. Pick him up, divide them among yourselves. The spoils of war. Liquid actually take a fight. And as I said, Richie, the only thing that matters is the high ground. They're gonna get Era.
Yeah.
This is not your chance. This is his 4th DI qualifier. It's not gonna matter. Era, goodbye. Liquid. Liquid's doing it? I think the high ground's doing it.
Liquid are doing it. It's the map. The map is the biggest problem. And even though they have Seer Stone, what an initiation. Okay, all 5 buybacks. Chicken Fighters, they're going for it now. I mean, why not? They've got, of course, backup rapiers for days. Everyone's good to go yet again. But what a great play. I just want to highlight the great usage there of the Terran scan because they went on in, and then Shibe was in immediately with Fallen Sky, controlling the Drow Ranger. Unfortunately, just off the mark. Surprised we didn't use the Wind Waker there just to make sure they could perma-stun him because we were able to pop the BKB. Great play from Charlie. I was wondering why he was holding on to Refresher Shard because he double Stone Gazes in that fight, and that really screwed with Liquid. But someone called it out, and you could tell because they immediately backed up even further, and by then, Chicken Fighters just didn't have the catch they needed.
I think it was the moment that Mickey sort of turned to stone and realized, oh, she's still screaming. That was the moment where it seemed like Liquid decided to retreat and re-engage in the fight. And this whole game, honestly, it's been Liquid's re-engagements have been saving them. And that was actually a 70k net worth. Oh my goodness.
That was a 70k net worth swing. Yep. Okay, be careful.
Oh my god.
Supreme.
I'm waiting
out of
for the
base.
Knoxville tweet here. You have Rapier on Taiga at this point. They have no more slots. They gave the Rapier to a support. This is your chance to shine, Taiga. He actually hits the buildings for a lot, to be honest.
Give him Axe, dude.
Oh, that's a good point, actually. He's still so slow. Yeah, give him Axe. Give him Axe. That's the name of the game. Like, who cares about buy? No, buyback is much more important.
Buyback is, yeah, at this stage, yeah. You need the buyback. And speaking of buybacks, of course, literally everyone from Chicken Fighters buying back there preemptively, I guess. But everyone with Liquid still having buyback. Chicken Fighters, despite having just about everything that Roche could drop and more, unable to really get even a single kill there, which means that Liquid are in a position here if they want to really go high ground and have 2 lives each. By this stage, even Ancient Apparition has the BOTs. So it's definitely doable for them.
But what I like about Chicken Fighters is right now, they're not deciding to go and stay in the base and, oh, we're just going to wait for them to go and fight us so they can give Liquid the tempo of the game. They want to recover it, and the way they recover is by going outside. However, if Taiga surprises you, they might still be able to turn us around. They're going for the Nick's first. Charlie is keeping Mickey at bay. Mickey is riding to the high ground yet again. There's 2 mage traps along the way, but Mickey is keeping him safe. But Mickey, he can't get away. They're too stuck to him. They're holding onto his legs, and Mickey's going to die. Buyback immediately, though. Koikva is now the second Mickey, but Koikva's been turned to stone, and Koikva's going to shatter immediately. Taiga, not even a chance for him. Liquid buys back with as many people as they can. Insane is somehow alive. Boxy will die as well. There's rapiers all over the place, but they don't need him. They have the damage without him. Era is the target now for them as Koikva keeps the rest of Chicken Fighters at bay. They're going for the supports first. They're the easiest targets, but Era will survive. Pexu trying to go into the trees of the Vendetta. He does have the Vendetta of unobstructed pathing. The rapiers don't matter anymore.
Yeah, well, why not?
They just found it. There we go.
Okay,
I think that's the one. That's the one he lost as well earlier. Koikva. That's the one he lost.
It actually is the one he lost. Don't Oh my lord, this game.
Pexu.
4 buybacks out from Liquid. Koikva's bought a second rapier. Dude, Koikva actually almost killed Dusa there. It looked like Dusa didn't have mana shield on, but Koikva was just critting like crazy, just had so much damage. Luckily, he was turned to stone, and this time, I mean, God Gamer Pangolier over here, Shibe was right on top of it. Didn't screw up the control this time whatsoever. Perfect counter initiation from the Pangolier. And even though Taiga lives, or Boxy lives, I think thanks to, now is Taiga with the Book of Shadows, he's still turned to stone. He still actually can't get in there. And that means that, you know, without much support, Liquid, they end up just dropping one by one. And speaking of something that's dropping one by one, once again, we assume the Roshan positions. Roshan number 9.
Another big swing, which doesn't really matter. I want to say, by the way, Chicken Fighters, you're listening to this cast. If you guys happen to stay together, which I hope you do for the next season, please add "Don't Spank Me" to your supporter pack. That needs to be a line on the supporter pack here. Rapier for Insane. Yeah, there's 2 more rapiers right next to him. Oh, he's like, oh, guys, don't litter.
Oh, okay, he's got to go double rapier. Why not? Quick Liver's not doing him any favors right now. Why not?
Actually, at this point, Biomax, look at this Hurricane Bike. Yes, Insania. He's realized. There we go. 3 rapiers. Insania is gonna be the true sniper. Look, you're gone to. Sweden's a very clean city. They don't litter. I think Insania is doing the right thing here.
Absolutely.
He's picking up all the trash in the map, and he's gonna clean the trash on the map as well with these rapiers.
I love it. Yesterday during our ITB game, Spider Pigs, I made an
Axe.
comment.
There we go.
Yeah, about how, you know, Ancient Depper. You know what? Go for Axe. Go for Axe. Get this chilling touch bonus.
Yeah, he did it. He just got it. He just got it, dude.
Dude, this is amazing.
Insane is going to become the true carry. Look, this is... I understand now. Liquid sees the future. This is why Insania was playing carry during ESL 1. You thought it was just a fluke. It was not. Look, now we're going to see the power of Liquid. Let's see if it happens. It's going to be an Ice Blast hitting. Charlie in the middle of the fight. They're positioning Chicken Fighters. Doing well. They don't want to lose the high ground too early. They're forcing it on Drow. And they're going to murder Mickey. No chance for Mickey. That's a dieback. Chicken Fighters not going to give Insania a chance to scary. Oh, Insania dealing so much damage, but he's alone. He's going to burst it down. He does take down Charlie. But that's not going to be enough.
What?
There's so many rapiers on the same spot. 5 rapiers concentrated within one another. Liquid just lost 3 heroes. However, they did take down the Dusa. But Chicken Fighters has Supreme. It's the fight of the mid laners with Insania here helping out. There's 2 rapiers on the Lina.
It's still holdable. It's still holdable though. Unfortunately, okay, Supreme, yeah, just blinking away from that. What a counter initiation on a Koikfa. They go. He does not have BKB. He's got Satanic though. Now I'm gonna start laying in the damage. Good damage, but not enough here onto Shibe. He gets plenty of assistance. Supreme now in a bit of a tough spot here. If he goes down, he does not have buyback. Dropping 2 more rapiers. Here goes Insanio with the damage. He's the carry now. It's not CK. It's the Ancient Apparition. That's what they needed. He's gonna recover the rapiers and continue running at him. Era trying to counter initiate, gets the stun, but Koikfa now in trouble as Shiba is right on top of him, but they don't have the damage. Insania's actually killing them both. He's got the Pangolier, and he's got Era too.
Oh my goodness, Insania is actually legitimately gonna carry the game. He's doing it. A raffle comes out, and they're gonna finish this. It's Insania who wins the game for them. Liquid win in a 103-minute game, all because they realized their 5 was the carry the whole time.